This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll, but we do it now in the afternoon, baby. Yes. How y'all doing out there? We are at Hialeah Park. This will be the new tradition on Thursday afternoons. We'll do a little morning hit sometimes, and today we did. By the way, we did a nice hour of sports talk, a nice easy hour of sports talk. I promised you we're going to get a little preview of the Dolphins and the Bills. Our boy Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News is going to stop by at 4:30 to talk a little bit about that. Alan Poupar, Sports Illustrated, and our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report will be at 5 o'clock. So we'll have some fun with that. I'm sure we'll talk a lot of Dolphins. Heat, we're getting ready for Media Day on Monday. We'll be out there on Monday for Media Day, so we'll get to see the players and the coaches and all that good stuff. So we'll have a whole bunch of interviews for you from the players and the coach and all that on our platform on Monday. So we'll have a little fun with that. But obviously we got a big weekend with the Dolphins and the Bills on Sunday coming up. Tomorrow we'll preview everything. Saturday, remember, we will have our pre- and post-game show for the Canes and Middle Tennessee. Mike McCoy and myself. We'll get that going for you, along with Sean Stanley, of course, and the C-Man. So we will rock that on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we will be back to do your pre- and post-game show to get you ready for the Bills and the Dolphins. And as always, we'll have Tua's press conference. We'll have Mike McDaniel's press conference. Cameron Wolf from ESPN will join us from the locker rooms. Marcel Louis-Jacques from Cam from NFL Network. Marcel Louis-Jacques from ESPN will join us from the locker rooms also with live reports. So we'll have every angle of that game covered for you. Big game overall. And looking forward to talking to Jay Skursky at 4:30 from the Buffalo News. I've known Jay for, 15 years or something like that. And he does a great job of covering the Bills for the Buffalo News. So we will talk to Jay and get his preview. I saw where Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde did not practice on Thursday. Poyer had a little bit of limited action on Wednesday, but was held out on Thursday. And Micah and that other kid, the young kid, got injured with neck injuries, and they left in that game. So we'll see how injured or how healthy Buffalo will be when they take the field on Sunday. Miami also We'll be missing a couple of people too, as they are a little banged up also, but should be a hell of a lot of fun. So apparently the Ime Udoko story is just like taking over, huh? That's people talking a lot about the Celtics coach, and I got to tell you something. I'm disappointed in the guy because he's got Nia Long in bed, and really, and look, I know the saying: "Show me a fine woman, and I'll show you the guy that's tired of sleeping with her," and all that. It's a little more blunt, the saying, when guys are saying it to other guys. I understand all of that. And let me tell you something. I understand his suspension. I do. I completely understand. Dude, we impeached the president for this. You know, it's pretty simple, man. Don't shit where you eat. That's all. You know? And if the rule is there and you break it, it's the problem is when you do those things, you put everybody in an uncomfortable situation at work. Then you also open Pandora's box because then other people want to do it. But then when there are disagreements or breakups, then within the employees, are you choosing sides? Are you creating problems? And that's the problem in the workplace when that happens. You put things at risk. You know, there are companies that if you want to get together, they'll tell you, okay, great, one of you has to quit now. You know that, right? That's how they do it. And maybe that's what they should do. The problem is that he's married. And by the way, do we know if the woman's married also? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know they've thrown names out there, but it's been inaccurate. I'm not just going to add to the fuel and throw names out there when you shouldn't. You know what I mean? We don't even know. And listen, it's none of my business what Udoko does. Maybe he doesn't love Nia Long anymore. Maybe they don't have any sex. Maybe she's a bitch behind the scenes. Maybe he's just an a-hole. I don't know what their relationship is like. But dude, you know you're working there. You're making a lot of money. Make her quit. Oh, you can't? Well, then don't have the relationship. But if the rule is there, you know, for the people that are like, oh, I don't care, and oh, they shouldn't suspend them, and this and that, rule is there, man. And the problem is most of you don't own businesses. And then most of you are never willing to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay? Because that's what you got to do a lot of times. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see what position are they in. And so now you have put the employees and you have put the employer, Ime Udoko, you have put them in a difficult position. Because now what happens if there's problems between you two and you're married? And I got to say something. This guy screws it up with Nia Long and they choke out in the playoffs. It's a hell of a year for him. Nia Long is fine, bro. She's a beautiful woman. Wonder what's up with that relationship. Damn. That's one I'd like to keep happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just weird. But I have no problems with this. And I'm not, and by the way, this is not coming from Heat fan wanting to see the Celtics get weakened, right? Because they already lost Danilo Gallinari for the year, right? So that was already a screw up for them. They signed a free agent that now they lost for the year. So they lose that shooter. That hurts them. And obviously, Udoko made a difference in that team last year over Brad Stevens. And I mean, really, that team was a lot tougher under Udoko than it was under Stevens. But don't shit where you eat. It's pretty simple, man. And if the rules are there, they're there for a reason. Because that creates a problem for everybody else. So I really have no issues with it if he's suspended. I have no issues if they fire him, to be quite honest. No issues whatsoever with that. None. I get it. Totally understand. You put people in a very difficult position for your selfishness, and if you two really care for each other, then somebody quits. Somebody leaves. So, I mean, if you care for each other, right? I mean, if that's what relationships are. Besides commitment, there's sacrifice, there's compromise. If there is no sacrifice and there is no compromise, there is no relationship. You do know that, right? So, those two are adults. I don't know if she's married or not, but he is. Okay, so then you should make the decision of, hey, man, you know what? Let me get my divorce and let's decide on what we're going to do because this is wrong in our job. So this is going to be a problem for you and for me. And we all know he's the head coach. He's going to survive any of this more than she is. Even if he gets suspended, he's not going to lose his job. He'll come back. She probably will lose her job. So instead of going through the embarrassment, instead of getting busted, right, through all of this, then you two, if you're really adults and you're smart about it, then you make the sacrifices. You compromise. Then you have a real relationship. I don't know. I mean, I've been in a relationship for 30-something years. There has to be compromise. There has to be a meeting of the minds halfway. It's not just about, oh, I love you. So I'm just saying, I have no problem with that case. And Udoka's an idiot, is what he is. He's thinking with the member instead of with his mind. And that's a problem. All right. Good afternoon, Big O. Let's get this show started. Keep quieting the Tua haters. Yeah, we did that for an hour today. We had several rants in the 11 o'clock hour today. If you didn't get the show, it's there. You do have an hour already that we put up. Damn it, Big O. It's about time this afternoon crap sucks. Big O watching from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is it the Jesse? The Hesse? The Hesse? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how you pronounce that. Huh? You think it's just Jesse and then it's D Jesse? Okay. All right. So he's probably named Jesse. Okay. All right. Lisa Rose is in from Bills country. She's a Dolphins fan, just in case. Michael Cody, yes, thank you. Dane Jackson was the other young man. Poor kid, man. God, I felt bad for him. Good thing is he's fine. Good thing is he was able to walk out of that hospital, and it doesn't look like it's anything serious. Thank the Lord on that. Fins up, everybody. Ken Walker, greater good is in. Steve Allen. Stephen Allen, you are in. Thank you, my brother Brian Walters, always locked in. Thank you, sir, for your loyalty. Big O, what do you think about the Jazz trade? That is crazy. Which is the Jazz trade? I got to look at it. What happened? Huh? Oh, they traded Bogdanovich to who? For Olynyk, and it has to be draft picks. Oh, so it's not for Olynyk. That's salary or something. It has to have been some young player or draft picks, right? I don't even know. I didn't even know the trade, but I mean, Danny Ainge only wants young players or draft picks. I'm shocked if he didn't get one of those. He's a good shooter. Watching from Wales in the UK, smashing the like button. Thank you, Big Mouth. Appreciate you. This Sunday has the feel of the 85 Bears versus Miami on Monday night. We need to make Hard Rock shake. Karen says a receiver on Eisen show. I saw that. Talked about McDaniel's coaching style. He made them. It's Hawkins. Andre Hawkins, I believe it was the young man's name. And he was screaming from the top of the he tweeted out in 2019 that Mike McDaniels should be considered as a head coach and that he would be a great head coach. And apparently he was right. Frankie Fresco says, good afternoon, Big O. What do you think of making dolphin chants like in soccer, but only during the time the defense is on the field? I have no problem with that. That would be fantastic. What is it again?
Saban Lee.
Okay, must be some young kid they like.
Saben.
Must have been their first round pick or something, or maybe some European player that they have the rights to that they drafted.
Says underwhelming move for Jazz.
Yeah, because it does look underwhelming because I don't know anything about that kid. But again, I don't follow college basketball super heavy, and maybe he's a European kid. I don't know, but there must be something to that kid that they like. But wow, they couldn't get a better deal than that for Bogdanovich? Wow, you would figure they'd get a couple picks. Checking in from H-Town. Thank you, Emilio. Ken Walker in, checking out in. Yader Castro. You think his name is DJ Essie. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Big O, you heard. Yeah, I just talked about the Celtics coach right now, sir. You can rewind just a little bit. I just talked about it right now. Cooling after mowing the lawn at 91 and brutal. I won't be mowing any lawns in my backyard with that artificial turf. Woo! Woo! And EJD started on the fence. Get to close out the yard soon. Love it. Steve says, I never saw in my lifetime for so much hate for Tua, and look what he did in his rookie year against Arizona and Kansas City Chiefs. Look what he did in the second year, and right now going Fins. Steven, you have a major problem, sir. Okay, Steven? Let me help you out, sir. You have too much common sense. In this world, they don't want common sense. They want to overreact. They want to go crazy. They don't want to really pay attention. They don't want you to, they don't want to hear you tell them, hey, dude, he has no offensive line. Hey, dude, he's got no running back. Now, I love the people that say, well, hey, Joe Burrow's line wasn't that good. You're right. And Joe Burrow's really good, by the way. He's a stud. But he had Joe Mixon and still has Joe Mixon. Miami doesn't have anything like Joe Mixon. Nothing close to Joe Mixon. Every little bit helps. And obviously his receiving core was outstanding last year. Best receiving core in the NFL. Tua didn't have that either. He had one receiver that he can count on. Nobody else. It's just, you Steven, you're a smart guy. Common sense. This is not about smart and common sense. This is about overreacting and shock value or whatever, or laziness. Kyle says, love the state of Florida Gridiron Roundtable this week. So great to see the show continue to expand and evolve. Thank you very much. I thought it went really well. I thought it was like a really smooth show considering it was our first time, man. You did a great job, Sean, putting it all together, bro. So, Sean, as always, making sure everything is smooth. It was good. And the guys were terrific, man. Absolutely terrific. If you missed it, every week, 7 to 8 p.m., we have the State of Florida Gridiron Roundtable, Canes, Dolphins, and Seminoles talk. And then from 8 to 9, Mike McCoy has the Miami Hurricanes watch. So 2 solid hours of college football talk. Check it out. And it's all there if you want to check it out on demand, as always. Rosendo says, good afternoon, Big O Nation. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Exactly. And who doesn't want to be one flesh with Nia Long? I mean, Eme Udoko. Come on, bro. That's Nia Long, bro. Come on, dude. What's wrong with you? That's one fine woman, man. Tell you. There's got to be some good men out there that would take care of Nia Long the right way. 3765 says, Big O, just finished my last service call just in time. Can't wait for Sunday. Fins up. Hails to the yeah. Michael Cody is in. Ray is in. He says, good afternoon, Big O. You playing the over in the Dolphins game? No. No. But I did get them yesterday, 6.5. I can already tell you that. Okay? I'm taking the Dolphins plus the points. What the hell? Do they have a shot to win? Yeah, they got a shot. Is Buffalo the better team? Obviously. They're the best team in the NFL, probably. If not the second best. I don't know who else you want to put up there. Whatever. But I'll tell you this Dolphin team has a better chance than any of the Dolphin teams the last couple of years. Jesus. Those teams are terrible. So this one, at least, with this offense, I give them a puncher's chance at least, and maybe keep it respectable. Listen, that's all the Dolphins really have to do for me this week. Of course I want them to win. Nothing would make me happier than to watch them win, Tua ball out, Tyreek tear it up, Jalen Phillips to pick up a couple sacks, knock the crap out of Josh Allen. Of course I would love all of that, okay? But you're 2-0, right? The Bengals are very beatable. They're back to being kind of the Bungles as it is, right? So you can end up 3-1 in your first 4 games that everybody thought it was going to be terrible. As long as you put up a respectable performance that you could lose by a score, but play a good game, I think the Dolphin Nation will feel really good because as the season goes on, maybe you got a better shot at taking them out down the line. But what you can't do on Sunday, it can't be 45-10. It can't be 30-6. That can't happen. You know why? Because then you question the first 2 games as an aberration. And then you say, well, maybe they're not that good, man. Maybe they just maybe Baltimore's really not that good and the Patriots are the Patriots do look bad, by the way. Let's be honest now. The Patriots look bad, but they have to have a respectable performance this week. That's how you justify this. But what I love is that McDaniel sent an indirect message to his team. And while McDaniel's the cool cat with the jokes and all that kind of stuff, and they asked him about the challenge of Buffalo, he said, well, the only way you become good is by beating the good teams. It's pretty simple, right? There's not a lot of confusion there. It's an obvious statement, and that's what he's telling his team. 2-0 don't mean shit. Beating Buffalo means something. That's kind of what he's telling them. And so they are they are the standard right now in the NFL, the Bills. They're not just the standard in the AFC East. They're the standard in the NFL. When people look around the NFL and they say, who's got the better team or a chance at the Super Bowl, Buffalo is in that conversation every single time. And they should be. They've earned that right. For 5 years, they've been building this monster, and they are a monster. But this is your chance now to tame that monster. Somebody said, Bears and Dolphins. And I was there at the Orange Bowl that day when the Bears came in undefeated and all that stuff. And this was later in the season. I believe the Bears were like 9-0, 10-0, 11-0 or something like that. It was later in the season when that loss came. So it was a bigger crescendo because by that time the Bears were like, okay, these guys are nasty. And it was a nasty ass defense. There's no doubt. But hey man, here's your chance. Here's your chance to kind of break through. Here's the chance for you. Look, a lot of people have to shut up now about Tua, right? Because of the way he's playing now. Now the people that were questioning him have got to take a step back and say, well, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see if the kid continues to ball out. Okay. Well, the Dolphins have not convinced a damn person at all. Maybe the Dolphin Nation, you and I are pumped up about the team. We love what we're seeing, all that stuff. We're confident, all that. But on the periphery, nice job, guys. All right, now we got to see more of it. And everybody says, oh, well, they got Buffalo this week. That's your measuring stick. You've got to perform this week. And you're home. Monday night game for them short week. They got some injuries. They've got to travel, and they're playing in your home at 1 o'clock in your humidity. You have every advantage possible. Plus, they haven't seen the whole offense. You've seen everything that Buffalo does. Everything's on tape for the last few years. There's only 2 weeks of tape on the Dolphins. So Mike McDaniel still has the element of surprise. So it gives you another advantage that you have going into this game because there is no book on Mike McDaniel yet as a head coach. You don't know his tendencies. You don't know what he likes to do in certain situations. The only thing you do know by now, if you haven't figured out, and if you haven't for the rest of the NFL and any coaches that might watch or anything like that, Mike McDaniel's got balls. Just want to remind you of that. Okay, he's got a set. So if it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, and it's he'll take that chance. That's what I like. I do like that at least you don't have, see, that's my concern with the Canes and Mario Cristobal. This past week against Texas A&M, you were right there. 3rd and 6, and you handed off the ball. You didn't put it in the hands of your best player. Like Denver did a week and a half ago. You're going to kick a 64-yard field goal and not give it to Russell Wilson. A money player that makes money plays his entire damn career. NC State, Wisconsin, Seattle. You're not going to put the ball in his hands? What are you, out of your mind? And I thought Mario did that this past week against Texas A&M. You're 3rd and 6 right there on the goal line. I'm living and dying with Tyler Van Dyke. You don't get there much in that game. You don't have opportunities to score touchdowns. You settle for field goals, you lose in today's game. This isn't the 90s. Okay? We're not playing 3-yard in a cloud of dust football, and then we're playing, tight games and fit. No. This defenses, all the rules are against the defense now. It's all about offense. And you got to score points. College or the NFL. You play Sperano football, you will end up on the losing end every single time. Rest in peace, Tony. Sorry, but I got to use you as an example always for field goals since God bless you. You loved them too much. So McDaniel's got some balls. So on top of all the advantages that they have going into this game, and they're intangibles, most of them, right? And some of them are tangibles with the injuries. Buffalo is still the better team, but you do have advantages going into this game. You got to abuse those advantages and come up with one hell of a performance against the Bills. And if you do that, then that changes what people think about the Miami Dolphins now. And even if they lose a close game by a point or 3 points or 5 or 6, they're going to say, oh, you see that? Dolphins are for real, bro, because the Bills are badasses and they hung with them. They had a chance. That's kind of what you got to do, right? At the end of that game, you lost, but you're going to go back to a player two and say, you're a player two away from winning that game. That's how you're going to feel good about the Dolphins. And if they win, obviously, forget about it. The town's going to explode. Dolphin fans all over the world will be breaking TVs. Okay? Everybody will be, going crazy. So, we all know what happens with a win. It all depends on what kind of a loss. If you do suffer one, what kind of a loss is it? 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. And, we're a small business. And if you own a small business up there and you're gearing up trying to get the right people on your team, then you call our friends at LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it nice and easy for you to talk to the people you want to talk to faster and for free. I mean, that's amazing. Create a job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network with over 810 million people, man. Then you can add the job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions, making it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and even hire. This is why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one, baby, in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs right now will help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Big O. That's linkedin.com/Big O to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And visit the folks at LinkedIn and support the people that support our program. Thank you as always. Appreciate all of you out there. McDaniel shows us he's not scared of going for it on fourth down, and that's a big improvement for this team. Being able to convert third and fourth has boosted this team's success by leaps and bounds. It's a great point, Kevin, because that's also what I wanted Mario to do. Instill confidence in your offense. Into Tyler Van Dyke, there's a lot of uncertainty in that offense right now. Tyler's not as comfortable. He needs those kind of moments. You take the ball away from now, we're gonna kick it. You don't believe in me, huh? Well, we're going to run it. Yeah, you don't believe in me, huh? So I agree with you. And he believes in Tua. And he believes in the offense. So, yeah, I'm with you. It's important to instill confidence in your child. Seriously. In everyday life. Let's go back to relationships, right? Anybody that's married. Your wife comes, hey, how do you think I look? You look great, honey. You look fantastic. What are you going to You're going to tell her she looks like shit? Damn, that blouse is terrible, sweetheart. Oh, my God, those jeans are a little too tight there. I can see the zippers popping a little bit there. No. No. Not going to do that, right? You instill confidence in people. That's what you do. Your employees do a good job. If you're a good boss with some leadership skills, hey, thanks, man. That's a great job on your part. That's kind of what you do. And then your employee feels better about what they're doing. Nobody likes the boss that even when you do a good job, they want to find something else to complain. They think there's some football coach, right? That comes in after the win and, they're all gruff and they're all like, yeah, we could have done better here, there, whatever. No. Confidence is important in everything. That's how you succeed. That's how you build a foundation. That's how you get to success. By people believing in you, and then you're able to believe in yourself. Think about what Tua's had to fight for 2 years. They did everything to absolutely crumble Tua's confidence. You had a head coach that hated him, a head coach that didn't want to draft him and wanted Jordan Love instead. Hell, the loser thought he could win with Jacoby Brissett over Tua. Think about how stupid that is. Okay? Now, think about this. You got two idiot owners trying to go get Tom Brady, which gets them suspended and gone, thank the Lord. Then you got the coach that hated Tua and didn't want him anyways, trying to get Deshaun Watson. Then you've got half the fan. Now, I'm going to go, what do you think? Half the fan base didn't believe in Tua, or we're going to go with like 70% or 80%? It was larger than half. Yeah, 60-40. Okay, we'll go 60-40. So now the fan base doesn't believe in him. Then you've got all the media all over the place saying, well, he can't throw the ball. Well, no, he's too short. Well, they made a mistake. This, that, whatever. That kid for 2 years was so beaten down that most people would lose confidence. Joe Burrow just went off of Twitter this week because of the criticism of the Bengals the last 2 weeks. Tua's Twitter still going strong. Baker Mayfield lost his shit by hearing the word Watson. They weren't even trading for him at that time, if you remember. He demanded a trade from that second. Meanwhile, Tua had to hear Watson for 2 years. Stayed quiet. Just kept doing his work. Everything was done for 2 years to destroy Tua's confidence. Anybody that tells you that that kid is not mentally strong, you can look at him in the face and use everything I said. And then after, when you're done, you say, you're an idiot. Okay? He blows out his hip. 10 months later, he's on the field in the NFL playing. Oh, yeah, he lacks confidence. Oh, yeah. Brother, I couldn't go to work if I blew out my hip. I'd have trouble to take out the trash if I blew out my hip. This dude is ready to get sacked by Michael Brockers and get slammed to the ground. Everything was done to destroy that man's confidence. And guess what? Most humans might have caved in. So when they tell you he's not physically tough enough, sure, tell him he's got titanium ankles now because he blew out both ankles and had titanium wires wrapped up. Tell him that he came back from a hip surgery. Oh, by the way, big bad Justin Herbert, 6'5" with the beautiful locks, and he can throw the ball a mile. Oh, he's day-to-day right now with the bruised ribs. And there's Tua last year playing with fractured ribs and a fractured knuckle in his throwing hand. Yeah, no, he's not tough. Now, he's not mentally strong, and he's not tough. It's, and it's right there. It's staring you in the face, and yet the stupid ass, idiotic narratives develop. Like right in your face, it is staring you. Everything that young man has had to overcome to accomplish anything. By the way, football season is back. I see it there at Sports Grill and during all NCAA and NFL games, folks, $1.50 Bud Light drafts. So tonight, if you go to any of the 7 locations, soon to be 8, Doral is not opened yet. They got new cocktails, $5 during the NCAA NFL games, cherry lemonade and tailgate tea, $12 domestic pitchers, bone-in wings are now 15% off. They've got the buttermilk chicken sandwich, and that thing is awesome. I love the buttermilk chicken sandwich. It is delicious. Mondays, $7 single smash burger. Tuesdays, $2 tacos, chicken, beef, or fish. Wednesdays, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. Sports Grill, baby. Check it out. 7 great locations. Go to the website at sportsgrill.com. Joe Burrow has blocked both Twitter and Instagram. He's doing more blocking than his offensive line. That's a good one, Ray. Let me tell you something. He has been sacked. I want to say it's something like 12 or 14 times in the first couple of weeks. The Dolphins are going to knock his ass around. He's going to feel like a ball in a pinball machine. You ever seen it when it's when hitting those bumpers? That's going to be Joe Burrow. Did you see Duvernay this past week for the Ravens, how the Dolphins put the Malachi Crunch on him? For you old farts out there that know about the Happy Days era? Yeah. Well, they're going to put the Malachi Crunch on Joe Burrow because that line ain't blocking anything, bro. It can't block a damn thing. Yeah, Burrow holds on to the ball. Well, you better learn to get rid of it. Tua has that issue too, and he's got to get rid of it. David Mauro says, Big O, question for any lawyers in the chat. Would Tua or the Dolphins have sufficient grounds to sue Flores for purposely trying to sabotage Tua so he could get his way? No, they can't, but it's funny. I hope we're not putting the cart ahead of the horse. Tua played amazingly, but it's one game 2 years aside from the Arizona game, and he played well in the Rams game. What was the other one? He's played well in several games, dude. He played well last week, actually, too. But here's the problem with that statement, Mo, and this is why I slam that statement every time. So for 2 years, everybody said he was a bust. Well, not everybody, a lot of you. So you're allowed to call him, a bust and that he can't throw deep and whatever, but we can't say. By the way, Mo, if you listen to this show, did I not say he was a Pro Bowl quarterback? Did I not say you can win a championship with him while they were in the first 2 years, right? Okay, Mo. So I'm entitled to say whatever I want about Tua. You know why? Because I said he was going to be great before you even saw this. You know what I mean? So on this show, I've been consistent about Tua. I think I'm the guy that said, if you put Tua in Tennessee, they go farther than Tannehill. I think I'm the guy that said, if you put Tua in Minnesota, they're in the playoffs instead of Kirk Cousins. I don't know, but I think I said that if you put Tua in New Orleans, they're in the playoffs. I don't know. But if I said that in the first 2 years, I'm entitled to have some fun and brag now all I want. Every bit that I want to brag, I can brag, dude. Hails to the yeah. Carolina, Atlanta game, Panthers game. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Do these jeans make me look fat? Not the jeans. The difference is this year, a lot of people know how to cover Chase this year. And since Burrow is trying to throw it all the time to him, he's holding the ball longer. Okay. You know, Frankie, I can't really tell you you're right or wrong because I really haven't looked at those games. I've looked at the highlights, and they haven't looked as good. But you might be right. You never know. But they have 2 other receivers too, Frankie. They've got 3 excellent receivers. That's the weird part. Like you have options. You don't have to lock in on one guy. You have 2 other guys that are super talented, man. You know, so I don't know. I get it. The Chase is a stud, but the other 2 guys are really good receivers. Atlanta game showed Tua can do clutch drives to get the lead, which defense choked to lose the game. Yeah, you're right. Chargers, Bengals, he's had many games. Yeah, well, he outplayed Herbert in that game, right? They won. Buffalo is going to try to hurt Tua or Hill. I'm sure they try to hurt everybody, bro. They're a physical defense. They want to knock the crap out of you. You know? Good morning from Australia, Big O. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate you checking us out. Down under. Jaggernut says, for 2 years, Tua had no real weapons, and he still won many games. Sheesh. Some people are just dumb. Even Jimmy Johnson said, your QB will ever be as good as the weapons you surround him with. Yeah, it's funny. Meanwhile, what does he do to Marino? He took away all his weapons. So did you hear Jimmy Johnson say that in some Fox show or something? Because apparently he doesn't follow his own advice. Another vindictive little dude. Oh, I'm forced to keep Marino? Okay, if I'm forced to keep Marino, let me take Irving Fryer away from him. And let me take Byers and Kirby away from him. And let me take the audibles away from him. Let me weaken my quarterback.
He's gotten wiser in his years.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Our little Key West sunshine on the brain.
I see. Okay. So Jimmy now is a little smarter. Okay. Kohu needs to get the start versus Gabriel Davis and put Needham back in the slot. Well, Eric, I think I said that 2 weeks ago. I said it in the post-game show. I said, hey, I've watched Kohu now for a month. He's the better athlete. You got to play him on the outside. You got to play Needham on the inside. I've been saying that for 2 weeks. What happened?
No, you had to put in there, Jimmy Johnson said that from personal experience.
Oh, experiments. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Way to screw Marino. I'll never forgive him for that. Never. Big O, did you get Baldy's new breakdown on our run game with Mostert? The run game is coming, folks. Yeah. Baldy has become like must. Normally, you always check out his videos because you learn stuff from his videos, but he loves Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins offense in a big-time way.
But one thing I did not like about Andrew Hawkins was he kind of felt like he was giving away the blueprint on Mike McDaniels, right?
Well, I get what you're saying, that, you know, that he studies each position and all that kind of stuff.
And he says, if they're going to zig, I'm going to zag.
And all that, yeah.
Because he goes against conventional wisdom,
But do you know exactly how he's going to zag?
You don't know that, but, again, it's one of those things where it's like, kind of giving away all his little, again, but it just shows how much and like how long he's been preparing for this one job, really. I mean, hell, when you're a wide receiver coach, you tell a guy, look, trust me, you're going to have the best season of your career.
Yeah.
And you go out and he does it. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
That's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Dude,
if you listen to me and you do this,
Yeah.
you'll have and I'll get a head coaching job.
Yeah. And the fact that he said he made them watch Allen Iverson doing crossovers so they could get off the line quicker. And nobody jammed a receiver for the first 8 weeks.
So let me ask you something.
It's just crazy to me.
We have 2 Mike McDaniels in town. Who's the other one? Huh? Say it.
Spo?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
You don't remember Spo went to football coaches?
yeah, no.
He went to go talk to coaches in other sports.
Yeah, and then bring it back over to yeah.
Who did positionless basketball?
Yeah.
Spo. Spo's the guy that said, no. Spo's the guy that ruined the All-Star voting now. Because there's like no centers. We're just going to put 3 big guys. We're just going to call it big guys. You know? He thought outside the box. It's gone pretty well, right? Just saying. It helps to think outside the box. And maybe that's why Spo is also very successful. That's why players, if you listen to me, James Johnson, you will have the best year of your career. If you listen to me, Hassan, put down the weed. Listen to me. You will have, put down the AK-47. Put it down. Listen to me. If you listen to me, you will have the best year of your career. Stop rolling. So those conversations, I just, right there. I mean, didn't they have their best careers, best years under them? Okay, all right. I'm just saying. Didn't Chris Bosh become a 3-point shooter? Didn't LeBron James say, oh, you want me to play with my back to the basket? You want me to? Yeah, we need you to do that. We think outside the box here. Just saying. Maybe we got 2 Mike McDaniels in town. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Maybe we have 2 Spos in town because Spo came first. Yeah. Spodaniel. We've got Spodaniel in town. How about that? There you go. Huh? You're only going to get those kind of comparisons on a show like this. Love it. Appreciate it. Super chat, Devin Jordan, as always. Thank you, my friend. Big O going to Nas and Wu-Tang concert tonight. Super excited. Wow, I'm jealous. Wu-Tang opening up for Nas. That is awesome. Awesome. That's fantastic, Devin. I'm jealous. You're what? You're missing Green Day? Where's Green Day? Today? Wait a minute. Green Day's today? I didn't know that. Oh, but it's at Hard Rock. That must be super expensive. Yeah. It is? I didn't know that. They were just here. When did I see them last? I just saw them with the Interrupters at the stadium and all that. It was Weezer. It was the Interrupters, Weezer.
I'm not a big music guy. So I may have the wrong thing.
No, but I'm saying it was Green Day. It was 4 bands. I'm missing one more. Who else was the 4th band? Somebody help me out there. Wow, they were just here. They're here again tonight. I didn't know that. But it's probably super expensive because, man, concerts at the Hard Rock Live. Wow, holy crap, they are expensive.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right, Kurt Warner went off on the haters and brought receipts. Christopher, what are we going to do? Somebody sent me this, and I forwarded it to Poopart, by the way. You remember the discussion that Poopart and I got in about the throw that I was impressed with too, that he threw it between 4 guys. So he wasn't impressed with it. If you remember, it's not a big deal. So Warner broke it down how impressed he was because it was actually Tyreek going through 2 windows. And that Tua and him couldn't connect on the first window, and within a millisecond, the second window opens up, and that's where they connected. So it's kind of a route that has 2 windows. And so that's kind of the way the play is. It gives you the option either or. And how he manipulated it and was able to get into the second one. And so he kind of explains it. I sent it a poop. And then he was like, well, until I see the quarterback angle, I'm not going to be that impressed with it. Or whatever. So he wasn't giving in at all. Oh, man. Where's Eric Ezukama? Corey, you don't need him right now. They're loaded. What are you going to do? You know, there's no reason to complain about not using Eric Ezukama. He's a rookie. River Craycraft came in off the practice squad, which is really smart. You don't put Ezukama on the practice squad because they'll take him from you. You put Craycraft on the practice squad. You keep your draft pick on the active, and then when you need him, you activate him because really, if the Niners aren't going to take him, then nobody really is. So then you keep him, and guess what? He scored this week. That's smart roster management. That technically you're playing with a 54-man roster by doing that instead of a 53.
Yeah, I was going to say, also it goes back to what you were saying. You know, I mean, Ezukama's still not the special teams guy.
Right.
Craycraft and
yes.
Oh, what's number 14? I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Eric. Easy E. You talk about
Sheffield.
Trent Sherfield. Yes.
Sherfield. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
So those two help out on, and as you say, it's very important on the back end of your team.
Yes, you got to have. Yeah, you got to be a two-way.
Guys, if you have Eric Ezukama out there, that's what he does. Then you take a chance with him in special teams.
You're going to see. Now, here's what's going to happen, folks. Okay, let me walk you through what's going to end up happening here. There's a couple of people that you're going to see as the season goes on. Eric Ezukama is one of them, but he's a rookie. So they're going to practice him, make sure mentally he's got everything down, and they're going to give him a package. Okay? And then they're going to have him practice that package, and they're going to use it because he's going to wait for specific situations. It might be this week. You never know. But Mike is going to use it. And then the other guy, and go right here on our platform, the Tanner Connor interview is there. I want you to listen to that interview. I want you to check out that interview and listen to how we talk about his game and how he talks about his game. And Tanner Connor's another one of those guys. They're going to prepare, and then they will unleash the Kraken with those two guys. And they will add some element. Tanner will add the speed. Ezukama will add the big physical presence on that team. And I think it'll be also in the run game. We didn't see it in the training camp, but I think that was on purpose. All right? This kid was used as a runner at times at K-State. So I think that's what they saw in him, and I think they'll do some of the Debo stuff with him as the season goes on. So do not be shocked. Ezukama will be unleashed, and so will that tight end Tanner Connor at the same time. You'll see. Not at the same time. What I mean is that both will be released at some point or another for something. Yes, sir.
Actually, Wes Welker was asked about Easy E today.
And
I remember seeing it, and I just found it. It was Barry Jackson that sent it out. He said, Welker is really candid and thoughtful with us, with Ezukama. He said, we're not going to play him until we're comfortable with him being able to execute the way it's needed. It's not the same plays every week like Texas Tech. It's not hand signals on the sidelines.
Right.
So, again, they're just trying to, kid's got enough on his plate trying to be a rookie in the NFL. And again, the other thing is the Dolphins are in win now. You're not trying to train somebody. You're getting
you don't have time for that.
In the practice, you don't have time to throw that on the
Those days are over. Yep. Yeah, those days are over. And on top of all of that, remember, in training camp, it's very vanilla. They're not asking him to do a lot of complicated stuff. This is going to be game plan specific every week, and it's going to change over and over again. You can't get young guys that are not ready mentally for that. And so they've got to train him, but it will happen. It will happen. Just give him time. I was hoping to have Tyndall by Allen's personnel escort for the game. He seems perfect that he can run with them, not get bowled over, and since he has just to spy, he can just react instead of think. Well, I'm sure, and Tyndall's a little banged up too, by the way. Huh? Oh, sick, that's what it is? Yeah. So hopefully, he gets healthy and he can get on the field.
If you do that with Tyndall, then you're basically in a 10-man defense, right?
Yeah.
Because he really doesn't know the whole scheme out there yet. Because again, he's a rookie as well. Like with Easy E, now you're putting him out there. If the Bills kind of see that and then they can start playing around, then you start taking advantage of Tyndall being out there.
Right.
Yeah. So it becomes a possibility if you do that, if you play him way too early.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you there. Okay. All right. Scores and stats prediction. Tomorrow.
There will be a score, and there's going to be a lot of stats.
Yeah. That is a good prediction. There will be a lot of stats. But tomorrow we will give you our prediction on everything that I think is going to happen in that game. We don't need Easy out there yet. Craycraft made a nice route adjustment on Tua's rollout that resulted in 6. We have talent. We have a talented roster. We are done forcing rookies to play. Exactly, sir. Rosendo says the O-line allowed Tua time to make his reads and get rid of the ball. There were a few hurries registered, but nothing even in the first half that stood out as problematic. No, the line did a good job overall, man. They'll get better as hopefully as the running game will grow and get better. But yeah, and this week, man, you got some pass rushers.
Not only that, but also a word that you've been talking a lot about lately is confidence.
Yeah.
I think Tua has confidence in the line now.
Yes.
You see him kind of step up. You'll see him do the spin out everyone. Like he has confidence in this line to have the ability to step up, step away. Like in one of the plays, he just kind of drifted 2 yards away from just to give a little bit more time. So again, it goes back to him having confidence also in his offensive line.
Yeah, I'm with you there. There's no doubt. It's incredibly important. By the way, Sloman's is a proud sponsor of our program, 1-800-ALARM-ME. We love Alarmo. He goes everywhere we go. And hey, listen, I just left my home, set my alarm, my Sloman's alarm, and I had my hands full. And let me show you something. Because I always tell you, like, when you come into the house and let's say you've got some bags or whatever, and, you got to open the house, the door of the house, and then you're balancing your bags, and you got to hit the alarm key, right? Excuse me, to turn it off. So how about this, folks? So today I was actually leaving, and my hands were all loaded. So I just said, you know what, man? I'll set the alarm when I sit down in the car. And sure enough, I locked the car. I locked the house. I got my stuff in the car. When I sat down, I pulled out my phone. Boom, I turned on my alarm. That's it. So convenient, man. I'm telling you. And right now, folks, we're going to give away a free doorbell camera to the first 40 Big O listeners. The phones always ring when we do this. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And listen, we're in 14 different states, so we could be in your state. So call 1-800-ALARM-ME. You might be paying for another company that's not going to give you the kind of service. Sloman's has been taking care of Americans for over 100 years now. I think they know how to do this, and they do it the right way. Sean's experienced it. I have. We both have our homes protected by Sloman's. And by the way, the panel is so easy to use and set everything. I'm telling you, check it out. 1-800-ALARM-ME, folks, and we'll give you that free doorbell camera when you mention the Big O. Plus, professional installation. And when you use our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery, man. So if you're one of the first 40 Big O listeners right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME for the Sloman's home security. All right. 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Good afternoon, Big O and Sean and everybody. Canes 1989 in the house. Let's see. Mo says, can someone tell me the problem with Jalen Phillips? There's no problem with Jalen Phillips. He's playing. I mean, it doesn't mean that he has to get sacks every single time. They'll come, dude. That happens sometimes with pass rushers, but he's still making plays. He's still pressuring. He's still getting pretty damn close to the quarterback and rushing him.
Yeah, and then also now offenses are prepared for him a little bit more.
Yeah.
They're preparing for him, not necessarily prepared for him, but now he's that, got to watch 15 on Miami, this and that. So it gets a little harder now.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's playing hard, man. Look at him, watch him, and he's playing. It's not like he's lost and all that stuff. He's fine. They're 2-0, man. They just came back against the Ravens, and I'm good. There's not much to complain about right now, to be quite honest. Corey says, if we lose to Buffalo, the haters are going to be chirping about the same old Miami, and it's stupid because Buffalo's top 3 team in the NFL. Like I said, Corey, it depends on how you lose. Okay? That's really what it's all about. David says, 14 years ago today, the Dolphins unveiled the Wildcat offense. Holy crap. Where does time go? Yeah. It was 14 years ago. That is crazy, isn't it? Dolphin Dynasty says, that's why Tua had to do a spin move to buy himself time to throw that TD to Craycraft to start the comeback. Tua made that line look way better than it was. He was throwing with guys in his face. Yeah, but they did a much better job. They've done a much better job in the first 2 weeks than they've done for him in 2 years. So,
I have not seen him sacked on a handoff yet.
No. That's right. That's funny. That's funny. That Tua was getting pressured as he was handing the ball off. I've never seen that in my life. When I saw that last year, I just okay, it's over. It's over. You can't succeed that way. Who the hell's going to succeed if they're pressuring you when you're handing off the ball? But no, let's overlook that. It's Tua's fault. That's what everybody's answer was for 2 years. Nah, it's Tua's fault. It's Tua's fault. It's Tua's fault. We're going to take a break. Get ready for hour number 2. It's Tua's fault that we're taking that break. Now, it's a 1-minute break. Hour number 2 from Hialeah Park. Jay Skursky will join us in this hour. We'll get a little Bills preview, Dolphins and Bills from Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News at 4:30 right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 network.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome back, folks. We take you, of course, till 6. We'll be out here at Hialeah Park. This is our new time slot for Thursdays only. We'll be out here at Hialeah Park from 3 to 6 every Thursday. A little happy hour action. So come on out. We got a nice, lively, this poker room's always lively. Even in the mornings, it's lively. And obviously in the afternoons, it's also very lively. I'm also impressed with the demo is getting younger and younger out here. I see a lot of young people playing poker. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. Anyway, so come on out here. Join us. We'll be out here every Thursday now, 3 to 6 p.m. So come on by and say hi. 855-912-1056. That is the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056. And by the way, I've got to mention Welt and Rayom again because, they crushed the crap out of Progressive. They thoroughly embarrassed Progressive Insurance for us. So I want to thank them because Progressive tried to get smart with us and not give us what we deserve. And Welton Rayom crushed their ass. So I'm just saying, if you've got, property damage, homeowner damage like I did, whatever it is, condo, commercial litigation, personal injury, I just witnessed it firsthand. Okay? They've been bringing the insurance companies to their knees for over 20 years, but it's nice to see it firsthand. And then to tell you, and I haven't completely come up because, I want it all to be finalized and all that, but they crushed Progressive. Okay? They crushed them so badly that the agent for Progressive that was dealing with them initially got fired. Anyway, so if you want a law office that's going to, not take any crap and going to fight for you, 954-966-4646. You call Jeff or Daniel and tell them that Big O sent you. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage. Listen, man, storms come. You've got damage. Before you call your insurance company, you call them. You have property damage and fire, a hurricane, a tornado, whatever. If it's damage from delinquency from somebody else, you call Welt and Rayom first. Before you call the insurance company, before you call anybody, they have their own adjusters. That's what I got. That's what I got firsthand. Okay? They have their own adjusters. And they do everything and anything that they've got to go out and figure out. So call them, Welton Rayom, man. 954-966-4646. They're in Hollywood, and they've been serving people here in South Florida for decades now. Welt and Rayom. Let me see what the text line has got for us. Remember how they told us that Tua beating the Patriots didn't matter because it was Flores that knew the Patriots team, and it was really the difference that won those games? Well, what happened to the Steelers on Sunday with Flores on that defensive staff? They lost to Whack Jones, a team the Dolphins basically toyed with in week 1, proving more and more that Flores owes most of his success to QB1 and to the front office. That's why I tried to explain to Dolphin fans that while a lot of you had this silly crap about worrying about the win streak on the back end of the season, I kept telling you, yeah, but what about 1-7? That's your problem, dude. 1-6, I think it was, right? Not 1-7. It was 1-7? Okay, 1-7. Whatever it was. 1-6, 1-7, whatever. That's dog shit. That's your season right there. That's why he got fired. But so many of you, you're like, I don't know, man, you're lazy or something, or you're naive or whatever, and you're just going off the back end of the streak. And you know why you're not in the playoffs? Because your coach wasn't ready for the team wasn't prepared in the beginning of the season. Look at Mike McDaniel. Look at Mike McDaniel. This guy always had slow starts. Mike McDaniel, slow start or 2-0? No, it's 2-0. His staff prepared. His players prepared. They're ready for training camp. They're ready for scrimmages. They're ready for preseason games. They're ready for the Patriots. And, well, they didn't start ready, but they finished ready for the Ravens. It's much better coaching, man. Much better coaching. Yeah. Flo, the front office, knew that was a playoff team last year, even with Flo's stupid decisions to hurt the team. And because they weren't in the playoffs, that's why his ass got fired. And I'm sure they wanted to make moves to improve the team, and he cock-blocked those moves. So, yeah. Because Trubisky, strong-arm QB, lost to the Patriots at home with both Flores and Tomlin as coaches. Thank you, sir, by the way, for the text. Very kind of you. Tua is so great. Every now and then you have a guy like him who is so humble. He will never take full credit for a win. He gave the defense credit for the win. He's just down to earth. Have to love this kid. I think the haters' reason is also being he's a Christian, and Hill, and so is Waddle and Hill. They're going to stomp the haters. Fins up big time. Mick from Bismarck, North Dakota. Thank you, Mick. Out there, North Dakota, man. Wow, that's awesome. Big O, just found your show. Fins fan living in Steeler country, Western Pennsylvania, birthplace of the best QB in history. And, of course, he's talking about Dan Marino. Love the show. Brian Flores, fins up, baby. There we go. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Big time. Just in case he's not listening, I'm sending him a text. Just in case. Just in case. Just a bit outside. Okay. So there you go. So Robert Sarver has to sell the teams, huh? Good for the NBA. Good for the WNBA. Good for society. You know, just because you're a billionaire pig doesn't mean that you should still be in charge. Yes.
I think it goes back to what you, Kurt Heelan, and Ira were talking about. Sponsors started coming forward. Money. It was going to affect the bottom line, and then things started rolling.
And he stays there, then men and women will not go there to play.
Yeah.
And so then you're not going to be competitive, and then your fans are going to be pissed, and then you're the reason why. Just get out, bro. Make your profit. Yeah. He's going to make a sick profit anyway.
It's funny because I guess they polled some NBA executives now, and they said with Sarver gone, Phoenix becomes a free agent, could become a free agent destination.
Yeah,
Sarver gone.
Yeah, dude. Phoenix is a great town, man. Anybody that lives there, you guys know what I'm talking about. Phoenix is a great town, man. Nice place to live. Clean. I've been there. Clean. Really nice. I like it. It's a nice place. Obviously, I'm not changing it for South Florida, but I'm just saying it's definitely a sexy destination. And James Jones, my God, he's such a decent human being. Like, one of the best human beings you will ever meet in your life is James Jones, and he has to work for that pig. Thank the Lord. That's great. Now James Jones' job becomes that much easier because that douchebag is now out of the way. So now that you get Sarver out of the way, the basketball people can actually do their jobs. It's really important, man, because you're not going to be able to keep free agents. You're not going to attract free agents. Even in trades, those players may end up saying, hey, man, you want to trade for me? Great, but I'm not interested in staying there. And I'm going to make it be known that I don't want to be there. And I'm going to make it be known that I don't want to play for your owner. And that's what would have ended up happening. And you can't have that. You just can't. How about this? How about let's not act like disgusting pigs. Let's just do that, right? Why don't we act like decent human beings and treat each other like decent human beings? What a concept. Be awesome. but you're going to start degrading people or whatever because of their sex or sexual orientation or color or nationality or something. No, man. Get the hell out of here. 855-912-1056 is the Welt and Rayom text line. Another gentleman says, Big O, Fin fan in the heart of Buffalo Bills territory. If Tua pulls this off, I can't wait to shove it in everyone's face. Damn right. Damn right. And we will. That's the best part. And we will shove it in everybody's face. That's the best part. Oh, boy. We will. Alec Ingold shine, no doubt. We need him this Sunday. You need him every week, man. That fullback position is incredibly important. And when you have a guy, and I've talked to him a few times, he's like a cool dude to talk to, right? Right? He's likable. Like, he is one of those guys that once you talk to him a couple times, you're like, cool dude. You know?
He gave me broadcaster vibes when he gets out.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very smart. Again, I don't know. Maybe he wants to coach. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
maybe. Yeah.
He's definitely got that, like,
yeah,
knowledgeable talking, and he's very smooth talking.
And he's not willing to knock the crap out of you. And that's something that I absolutely love out of that dude. Alec Ingold will rock you up. All right. We've been rocking with our A. Lenny Locksmith lockdown segment. We are 36, 26, and 2. Unfortunately, didn't go well in our last one. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's give you a pick. We got an NFL game tonight. I don't want to pick any more Marlins games. Those things are just, yeah. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's get our lockdown segment right now.
Time to lock it down. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
Fortunately, we failed you on Monday night. We took the Vikings plus 2.5, and they got trounced 24-7 in that one. So it is what it is. It happens. So we dropped to 36, 26, and 2. We are 10 over 500 during this stretch. Still doing very well. And tonight we've got a game at 8:15. We got the Steelers and the Browns. The line right now, the Browns are favored by 4. The over and under is 38. Both teams have the same record, 500. They're 1-1. Pittsburgh is plus 160 on the money line, and the Browns are minus 190 on the money line. Browns are at home. I got to tell you something. I know that TJ Watt is injured and out, and I get it that you know Pittsburgh's on the road. They don't look that good. Trubisky, I don't buy Trubisky. Never have, never will. But I also don't buy anything that Cleveland has, Jabroni Brissett or anybody else. Okay, so that to me doesn't matter anyway, because the Browns don't really have a quarterback that I respect. Now, they do have a running game I respect, and I get that. Pittsburgh has the better coach, the more tested team, and they have a way of being pretty gritty, even when they've got a duck at quarterback. Right? That was they called him the Duck like 2 years ago. Right? They almost got a playoff spot with his ass. And that's why I'm going to take Mike Tomlin. If it was 2.5, I might have leaned over the other way to the Browns and take it with a field goal. Because it's 4, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 4 in this game. Why? I wouldn't even be surprised if they win this game, because the Browns are the Browns. What do you want me to tell you? And Jabroni Brissett could easily give that game away. I'm going Pittsburgh. I'm riding it. I know this is an ugly game all around. This is not really this game is not interesting at all. It's only interesting to the people in Pittsburgh. Okay? Because I can't imagine Browns football is interesting to anybody in Cleveland anymore. You know. And especially when you know that dude comes back. Lockdown, baby. We are going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's how we're riding, baby. That is our lockdown segment. And when we talk about A. Lenny Locksmith, folks, if you get locked out of your home, locked out of your car, you call the great people at alennylocksmith.com. They will take care of you. And I'm talking about Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, hell, even into Port St. Lucie. They will take care of you, man. A. Lenny Locksmith is there. They will program the keys to your car. So not only if you need duplicates or if those keys need to be programmed, they can do it too. 561 284 5090. That's 561 284 5090. Our friends in Phoenix, Arizona, where Robert Sarver is no longer wanted, and in Tampa and in Orlando, Florida, also, you can call the offices of alennylocksmith.com, 561 284 5090. All right.
The Lockdown is brought to you by alennylocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com where we lock it down.
All right. I saw something where the Lakers are set to honor George Mikan. Did you see that? They're going to retire his number 99. Like 70 years later. It's a crazy story. Laker fans, they brag about all the titles and they use the 5 from Minneapolis. What were the years exactly? Let me see. I have the story here. But he won back in the day. From what year is it? Let me see. Trying to find the damn exact years, but it was back in the 50s. 49 to 54. They won 5 straight championships. And George was like, he was God in those days. And they've retired that team or they've honored that team and all of that. The man passed away like 7 years ago. I hate when they do this in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Happens all the time. I remember when Deep Purple was recently inducted a couple years ago. John Lord's wife is there to take the award. And it's like Deep Purple deserved to be in the Hall of Fame a couple decades ago. Why did you wait now? When people start to die. And I never understand that. Why are we waiting to retire somebody's number that deserves to get retired? Why are we waiting to induct somebody into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they should already been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like U2 is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I get it, they're still playing, but what happens if there's a plane crash or something? What happens if somebody dies? They've already earned the right to be there. Just put them in there. Stuff like that. Like if somebody deserves it, just put them in. Like you're going to honor Deep Purple 40 years later? What are you? What kind of stupidity is that? Hell, it was more than 40 years. So it's nice that they're retiring George Mikan's number. I saw that story, but we got to do better, man. We have to do way better. Let's honor these folks when they are still with us and they're still, really healthy and they can enjoy it. Let this crap drag on and then they're too old or they die. And it makes no sense. George Mikan should have had his day decades ago, dude. Decades ago. You should have. That guy won 5 titles for you. I don't care what you think basketball was from 1949 to 54. You know what it was? It was even. Everybody was playing the same game. Whoever was playing, fair level playing field, and the dude won 5 championships. It's really weird, and it happens, like I said, all the time in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Drives me crazy. And I don't care about the Lakers. I'm not a Lakers guy. I just feel bad for anybody like that. If they earn that right, why are we waiting to honor that person? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Mikan was so dominant that he prompted rule changes in the NBA, including the introduction of goaltending rule, the widening of the foul lane, and the creation of the shot clock. Well, there you go. I had no idea that he had anything to do with the shot clock. That's crazy. Let's see. Michael is not happy. There's 300 people on there and only 123 likes. I'm happy there's over 300 people, but it would be really nice if all the folks out there just reached over and hit that like button. That would be very cool on your parts out there. Thank you. U2 is a first ballot Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they aren't there yet, right? I don't think they are. I just threw that out there. I don't believe they are. You know, the other day I went to the Killers and Johnny Marr. And the singer did something really cool at the AAA. He sung a Gloria Estefan song, right? And it was pretty cool that he did that. And at the end, he's like, honoring the Queen of Miami, I think he called her. And he was like telling the young people, if you don't know anything about that song, you should Google it or whatever. What? Oh, they were inducted. Okay. By Bruce. Okay, there you go. 2005. Okay, so that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. Exactly. That's perfect for you two. Yeah, they should be in there. But I don't think Gloria is. Can you look it up? I don't think Gloria Estefan is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I just thought about that the other day when I saw the Killers, and then he sings a song, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. So Donovan is going to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you're going to put T-Rex in there? And why? Because of glam rock? But the guy had like 1 or 2 hits. Right? T-Rex had like 2 hits, maybe? And Estefan had like a crap ton of hits. Right? It's kind of weird. I thought about that. I was like, wow, she's not in there. Christopher Carter says, U2 isn't really rock. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame isn't really rock, dude. Christopher, why do people say that stupid line? Seriously, dude. Madonna's going in. Ray Charles is going in. Doesn't matter. It's just music, man. That's what it should be called, the Music Hall of Fame. But if you guys still think that it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and it's always been rock, what is wrong with you? They've been putting people in that aren't necessarily rock. That, by the way, for Christopher, just so you'll know, they have a rock and heavy metal Hall of Fame. You can watch that one if you want to. But it's not the one in Cleveland, and it's not the original. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a music Hall of Fame. They have all kinds of genres of music. So please, don't act stuffy and insulted because Diana Ross is in it. Okay? She needs to be in there twice. Just like Stevie Nicks, twice. By the way, Beyonce should be in there twice. Soon. They should put Beyonce for her music, and then, of course, for Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child sold like 100 million records. What, it's not rock? Who gives a crap? They're successful. It's music. So silly. Oh, it's not rock. What, you haven't figured it out for 50 years? They've been inducting people that aren't necessarily hard rock or metal? Hell, they don't even put heavy metal in there. Iron Maiden should be there. Judas Priest should be there. Scorpion should be there. And they don't even put those in there. Yes.
Gloria Estefan, I found a website. She is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's right.
She's been eligible since 2013.
Okay.
And somehow they've got a projection. They believe she'll be inducted in 2037.
Oh, great. When she's like with a walker and almost like,
I'm not sure how they got the projection from the website, but it's
15 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. She has more hits in one album than T-Rex did his entire career. Okay? In one album. But then again, this is an argument that we could sit there and pick like so many people that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's an endless conversation. But it's just silly. Oh, it's not rock. It's never been that. The Temptations are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they were far from rock. Yeah, and they deserve every moment of being in the damn Hall of Fame because they are awesome. Big O, was there ever a time where a player on any of the South Florida teams left in free agency and you were so upset? A player that left? Well, yeah. When I was young, Zonka, Kick, and Warfield left for the WFL, for the World Football League. That destroyed the Dolphins. That destroyed their run. That took away the heart and soul of that team, and it hurt the Dolphins. They were still a good team, but they weren't the same dominant force. Zonka, I mean, come on, dude. You know, he came back after, had a toe issue, and he wasn't the same player. But yeah, no. I'm trying to think of something like that isn't that somebody left the Heat or the Dolphins, and they left in free agency. I mean, Jason Taylor was chased out, but that was Parcells doing it. It wasn't really Jason. Wade. Yeah, but then again, Riley didn't want to pay him. So I can't blame Wade. I don't blame Wade for Riley screwing that up. He was I think his question was that I was mad for them leaving, the free agent. And yeah, I didn't want to see Jason in a Jets uniform, but that's Parcells being a jerk. I don't want to see Wade leaving in a Chicago uniform, but that's Riley dropping the ball, dude. You chose to pay sorry ass Whiteside over the guy that's brought you everything to the franchise. You can't do those kind of things. So I can't get mad at Wade, and I can't get mad at Jason Taylor because they had reasons to leave. They were insulted, and by the way, you did insult them. Trying to remember somebody that really left that I was just like pissed. Let's see. No, all right. Yeah, we got Jay. All right, let's do it. Carlos, thank you for the super chat. Let's get a preview of Dolphins and the Bills with my man Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. There he is. He's ready to go.
What's going on?
The myth, the legend that is Jay Skursky. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
I'm doing well. Yeah, very, very good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you on, my brother. You always have time for us throughout the years, and we always appreciate it immensely. Talk to us right now, injury-wise. What's the latest? What are you hearing with the Bills going into this
game?
How
much time do you have? It's a lengthy list right now for the Bills. This is a team that's quite beat up for week 3 of the season.
So no, Jay, as you go with this list, the more names you give us, the smiles get bigger and bigger all across the platform. So go ahead, make them happy.
Well, I mean, the big thing here is the secondary for the Bills, and what are they going to be dealing with? You're looking at Dane Jackson, a starting cornerback, and both starting safeties, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, who have missed practice on Thursday. I don't know that any of them are expected to play. I think maybe Poyer might have the best chance. But, and this is a team that's already without Tre'Davious White on the PUP list. So that's your 4 opening day or, quote unquote, week 1 starters, if you want to count White on that list. So they are looking at being severely shorthanded in the secondary. They were down a couple of defensive tackles in week 2, Ed Oliver and Tim Settle. Those guys look like they're working their way back. They were limited in practice. Gabe Davis told us today after practice he is going to play. He also had missed the game. Jordan Phillips, who's been off to a great start this year, former Dolphin, He did not practice again today, hamstring injury. So, yeah, for week 3, and especially for a team that has by and large remained really healthy over the last few years, they are dealing with some serious stuff right now, but no bigger than in the secondary, particularly when you're talking about going to face Tyreek Hill and face Jalen Waddle, and that, what looks to be a pretty high powered, at least at the moment, Dolphins offense.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Jay, the one thing that's always been impressive about Buffalo is the depth that this team has. Now, the names you're talking about, I mean, Dane Jackson's young, but the other guys, those guys are studs, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to replace, monsters like that. But talk to me about how good is the depth for the Bills overall, because that's the other thing that, man, you got to tip your hat. What they've done in 5 years in building this team, one of the reasons why they're good is not just because of their great starters, but they've got some depth.
Yeah, so I mean, at safety, Jaquan Johnson, he's actually another Miami guy, a 4th-year veteran. He's been around a long time. He knows this system inside and out. And then DeMar Hamlin is a 2nd-year guy from Pitt. Again, so you've got some experience there, some guys that at least, are going to come in. They know the system. At cornerback, though, at outside cornerback, they are young. I mean, Dane Jackson, as their 3rd-year veteran, was kind of the experienced guy without Tre'Davious White in there. You're looking at starting 2 rookies. I think 2 rookies are going to start. Kaiir Elam is their 1st-round pick. He's from Florida. And then Christian Benford was really their surprise of training camp. He's a 6th-round pick out of Villanova, FCS school, comes in, not a lot of fanfare, but really does well in training camp. But, what a huge stage for these 2 guys, 2 young guys, to go up against this caliber of receiver. We should mention that Taryn Johnson, their nickel cornerback, he's here. He's been a great player for them in recent years too. So they do have, at least their nickel is kind of experienced, but they're very, very young at cornerback. And it looks like they're going to be pretty young, at least in terms of games started at safety, if Hyde and or Poyer can't play.
All right, Jay Skursky joining us from the Buffalo News. You could follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Jay Skursky. All right, so you tell me, man, what are you seeing from the periphery out there? What's your impressions of this Dolphin team? Because while we all know the Bills are the better team and they should win this game, man, I'm giving them a puncher's chance now because I actually think they've got a coach and they've got an offense now. So you tell me what you see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, from the outside, from Buffalo, the question was always Tua. Can he be the guy? And, what he was able to do last week against Baltimore was massively impressive, right? AFC Player of the Week for a reason. And I think I've always kind of liked what the Dolphins had been building. I mean, a lot of their moves, at least to me, were very logical. They made sense. They didn't always pan out. I didn't think they drafted particularly well, but there was there's some sound reasoning behind it. It seemed like a lot of their moves. And now, you've got, I think, a really promising young head coach who has infused probably some new ideas. You could probably tell me more about that. But, there's always been some talent on that roster. Xavier Howard's been a good player for a long time. Waddle was spectacular last year. And then Tyreek Hill has been an absolute Bills killer from his time with the Chiefs. So I think up and down this roster, the Dolphins have a lot of players that, can give other teams problems, and that includes the Bills. And I think, quite frankly, this game has got to mean more for Miami than it does for Buffalo. I mean, the Bills have, they've been in control of this division here for the better part of the last couple of years. And they've been in control of this rivalry with the Dolphins for longer than that. I mean, quite frankly, Josh Allen has sort of owned the Dolphins really since he came into the league. So with all of that being considered and all of that being said, Miami's got to be looking at this as saying, this is huge for us. This is our measuring stick game. Whereas the Bills are probably saying, we're really banged up right now. It's a short week. It's going to be 100 degrees down there. We've got a lot working against us. I'm sure they're not making excuses, but when you factor all those things in, I feel like this has got to, the Dolphins have to be looking at this saying, we're catching the Bills at the right time, and we've got an opportunity to send a big message in the AFC East.
Yeah, no, listen, Jay, if you're going to cut the gap between the two teams, and it's an enormous gap, you got to start here, and you got to, worst case scenario, they have to lose a close game. Worst case scenario, you can't go 35-10 because then you're going to make the first 2 weeks an aberration.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it's going to end up looking like. But if you have a really good showing against the Bills, then I think people will start to get convinced. If you beat the Bills, then I think people will be convinced that you're there. Out of curiosity, because I'm one of the few, I've never believed Tua was ever the issue. I've always believed Tua can be a Pro Bowler and can lead a team to a championship. I've always felt that it was piss poor talent on offense, and I thought Brian Flores was an absolute joke. He couldn't create an offensive staff if his life depended on it. He couldn't find a quarterbacks coach, an offensive line coach, an offensive coordinator. He was a freaking disaster. And that's what I kept telling everybody. Well, they improved the talent and they improved the coach. And all of a sudden, Tua looks like a lot like what he did in Alabama. And so for me, I was always a believer. So I'm kind of happy what's developing here. But for you, are you a doubter that is starting to get convinced? Are you still a doubter, or were you a guy that always believed in the kid? It was just his environment.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm starting to be convinced. I think I needed to see it. I think the one thing that stands out to me about Tua that I kind of go back to a lot is, and it was something I think Ryan Fitzpatrick said not all that long ago, and obviously Fitz had spent time there with him. That I always just wondered what his elite trait was, right? And I think when you're a quarterback in the NFL, you want to have at least one elite trait. Some of these quarterbacks have multiple elite traits, right? I think Josh Allen has multiple elite traits. I didn't know that Tua did. I still don't maybe necessarily know that he does.
He's got three, Jay.
Yeah. Okay. What are they?
Accuracy,
Yep.
ball placement, and anticipatory skills.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you heard about the accuracy.
It's the same three that carried Fran Tarkenton, Drew Brees, Bob Greasy, and Joe Montana. None of them can do what Josh Allen does.
Right.
None of them can have a linebacker or a defensive end draped on him and throw a 20-yard strike.
Yeah.
None of them can. None of those guys could get the ball and run 20 yards like a deer, like Josh Allen. All those guys had to be pocket passers that needed a clean pocket in order to get it done. And their coaches always complimented those quarterbacks with the proper talent. To me, Tua's in the mold of those kind of quarterbacks.
Right.
That he's not those freaks now. He's not those kind of guys.
Yeah.
He's not Marino, bro. He's not Kelly. He's not Josh Allen. He's not built like Ben Roethlisberger. And neither was Montana, by the way. Montana can't do any of that shit either. I watched all those guys. So that's what I try to explain to people. That's who I believe Tua is. He's those guys. None of those guys had a gun.
Yeah.
None of those guys could throw 80 yards, bro.
Right.
None of them. And in the NFL, you really don't need to be throwing 80 yards all the time anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess if that's the case, then I think when you're looking at the Bills trying to put together a defensive game plan, you're talking about how can we impact the passer? How can we get to him in the pocket? How can we make him
exactly.
We want to send pressure at him. We saw it last year in this game between the Bills and the Dolphins. I think they knocked them out. Maybe it was the second series last year. It was a clean shot from AJ Epinesa to the ribs, and it ended up knocking him out of the game. And, of course, you don't want to see a guy get hurt, but I think pressuring him, hitting him, right, that's going to be key for the Bills. And that's something that they've done really well here at the beginning of this season. 7 sacks in the opener. Didn't have as many against Tannehill in week 2, but if you watch that game closely, they were pressuring him. They were making him uncomfortable. And so I think, and especially with a secondary that's got as many question marks injury-wise as this Bills one does, it's going to be about this pass rush. It's going to be about Von Miller, about Greg Rousseau, another Miami guy. The Bills are littered with Miami connections. But, Rousseau and Miller as their starting defensive ends, what kind of heat can they get on Tua? I think that'll be a big factor in this one.
That's a huge factor, bro. That's the key to Breeze. That's the key to those kind of guys, create, because they can't have traffic in a pocket.
Yeah.
That's not who they are. They can't be in the middle of it, and that's not who they are. They can't see above all those sea of people and things like that. So you're 1,000% right. If you don't pressure him, then I think he will have a chance to be competitive against the Bills and maybe even win the game overall, because you've got a lot of, that's the one thing, Jay, that I didn't know about Tyreek this way. When I watched him actually in practice, I don't know how you said he's a Bills killer.
Yeah.
He's an everybody's killer, bro.
Yeah, right.
There's not a corner in the world Jay, I've never seen a dude that can cut at the top rate speed that he's at, that he'll cut on a dime on you. And the second he cuts, every other human being in the world has to have a little bit of a slowdown before you cut. This guy doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's why every corner gets lost. And it doesn't matter who you are. And I watched it in practice and all these scrimmages against other teams. It didn't matter what corner you're against. That dude is a freak of all, like Josh Allen is a freak of all freaks.
Yep.
And the way he's this dude is the same thing in that sense, Jay. He is impossible to cover, dude.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. I mean, again, when you add him to what Waddle was able to do,
Right.
that stresses any defense, and speed is the one thing. I mean, speed kills, right? They say it for a reason, and it was true when the Bills faced the Chiefs, and Hill was obviously, of course, a huge part of that. And so that it'll be a great chess match, great challenge for this Bills defense, which has been off to a great start. But I think they haven't had to go up against me because there are so few of these guys, almost none of these guys that are like Hill, to your point. So, yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing how the Bills sort of respond to that, how Leslie Frazier, their defensive coordinator, attempts to slow these guys, because there's no stopping them but slowing them.
Okay, so let's have some fun with this. You're right. They're going to have to pressure and cave that pocket in for Tua to get him uncomfortable. But I would imagine they're going to counter because Buffalo's pass rush is badass. They're going to try to counter with quick hitting plays. Mm-hmm. So how does Buffalo answer to that in the secondary being banged up and then having to stay with the two receivers that are Blazers? And by the way, I think Mostert and Chase could be a factor in this game also because they bring a lot of speed from out of the backfield. That's one thing that Greer and McDaniel did. They added speed like crazy on this team all over the place.
Yeah, they absolutely did. You're 100% right, and that is, with the Bills, their linebackers, they do have two pretty athletic linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. Those guys are experienced in this defense. They can cover. They are, I don't know that, Edmonds has been a Pro Bowler. I think Milano has probably been a bit of a snub from the Pro Bowl at times in his career. So they're in, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good at those positions. How will those guys factor into the coverage plans, that kind of thing? They also got big guys on the defensive line too. I mentioned Rousseau. He's like 6'7". So even if the pass rusher isn't getting there, trying to get those hands up, deflecting passes at the line of scrimmage, those are the types of things they're going to need to do. If the game plan for Tua is to get the ball out of his hands quick, which I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah. If you're not getting home in the pass rush, you got to get those arms up and at least try to deflect some passes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it because, listen, I know it's fun for Buffalo fans and the Buffalo Mafia is loving it. But down here, man, you want it to be somewhat competitive, man. You want to have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think this is going to be a competitive game. I mean, I think we talked earlier about, what's at stake for the Dolphins, the messages that they want to send to the AFC East, to the rest of the conference. And don't get me wrong. Listen, the Bills, I'm not making excuses for the Bills. Injuries are a factor, but this is still Josh Allen. This is still an offense that has really shown no signs whatsoever of being able to be stopped at all this year, right? So, I think the Bills, if this ends up being a shootout type of a game, I think the Bills are they'll take their chances in a shootout against anybody.
Anybody, of course, dude. I mean, the Bills are, if not the best team in the NFL, second best, whatever, for argument's sake or whatever, but they're a Super Bowl contender. Your thoughts on McDaniel, dude, because he's incredibly entertaining.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, after having a mannequin, just like for the last 2 years, a guy that had zero personality and said nothing whatsoever, this dude's refreshing and it's fun to cover him. And he's a pretty smart dude and gutsy, by the way, Jay. He's not going to play conservative, bro. He will take some chances. So I'm wondering from an outsider's point of view, your thoughts on what you've seen from Mike McDaniel so far.
Yeah, you used the word fun. I thought that was a good word. I mean, he seems to be, his press conferences seem to be pretty loose. He doesn't seem to be too buttoned up, and we love that from a media perspective. I know, following my buddy Marcel, who is down there now at ESPN and used to be up here in Buffalo.
By the way, he's one of our exclusive insiders down here. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. He's with you guys too, and he seems to always, like I said, just kind of following along with what he's been putting out there with McDaniel. He seems to enjoy covering them too. So yeah, I think the Dolphins have got themselves a coach who is, it's going to take some work for them to get on the level of the Bills, but I think he knows that's who they're chasing right now in the AFC East. And, I love the creativity, that's just the way that the league is going, right? These creative offensive minds. And certainly he's one of those guys. And, the early returns, I would say, are pretty good. I mean, you got 2-0, a division win, and then a team in the Ravens that's a perennial playoff, not Super Bowl, but playoff.
But not only that, they're like the Bills.
Yeah,
they own the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and so
they're
now
a tough team to defend, right? I mean, they're a unique challenge.
Exactly. That's why. I'm not a Lamar guy. I think that they live off of getting the advantage on everybody in the regular season because it's so hard to prepare. But once you get to the postseason and the difficult defenses step up, they shut down the run and then they force Lamar to beat you with his arm. And that's what happened this past Sunday. They only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter. After all that, when you're on script and everything's going fine and you're front running, it's all great, dude. The guy that the Bills played that we had here for 7 years, Tannehill. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Tannehill. He's great on script as a game manager, all that stuff. But then when the crap goes awry and then they shut down Henry and then it's, hey, pressure's on you, kid. You're done. It's over. So, to me, that's the interesting part, that they exercise the demon, I think, with the Ravens, because they beat them last year here and now they beat them this year there. Yeah. So that demon's kind of been exercised. The next demon is the Bills. That's the demon that they have to solve. And Jay, you and I know, if the Dolphins don't give the Bills a challenge in this division, it's over, bro. Yeah. You don't give the Patriots any hope, right? And the Jets are done, but you don't give the Patriots look terrible. I don't know about you, but they look like no threat whatsoever anymore.
No, I picked the Bills to win the division, but I picked the Dolphins to make the playoffs as well. And so I do think the Dolphins can keep this competitive. I mean, when you look at the Bills next month, they are at Miami, at Baltimore, home against Pittsburgh, and then at Kansas City. So they got 3 of their next 4 on the road. And then they get to the bye week. So their stretch before the bye has been a very challenging one. And, you can add starting the season at the Rams in there too. So 6 weeks at the beginning of the season for the Bills is pretty big. If I think most people said they could go, 4-2, heck, maybe even 3-3 and still be in good shape the rest of the way, because the schedule sort of eases up after that. But if they can blitz through this and go 5-1 or I think 6-0 would be a real stretch. But if they can get at the bye at 4-2, 5-1, then I think the division is well within, it's going to be theirs. So I think in that sense, this is a really big early season game, because if the Bills can pick up, have a game and a half, lead on the Dolphins, but, with the tiebreaker with an early win, then I think, they're going to be sitting pretty well set up for the rest of the season. And, because you got to make it through this next month. And then, like I said, the schedule kind of eases up a little.
All right. So give me the prediction, Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News. What is it?
And I'm not pandering to the South Florida crowd here. I'm going to pick the Dolphins in this game. I just think, short week and the injuries that we talked about for the Bills are going to be a lot to overcome. I think Miami, wants to send a message in this game, and I think they can do it. I mean, I expect a rather high-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I could see something like a 31-28, a 35-31 type of a game with the Dolphins winning it.
That's amazing. Not even Marcel Louis-Jacques would pick the Dolphins. He probably picked the Bills, because we all think he's like a secret Bills fan down here. It's kind of it comes out of him when he's talking. He'll start talking Buffalo and wings and just all kinds of stuff comes from him. So amazing. You are picking the Dolphins. Wow. That is
all right. Well, awesome. I balanced out my buddy Marcel then.
Yeah. And by the way, you don't pander. So, I've known you for years. You make the pick when the pick is whatever you feel is going to happen. So it's interesting. And you're right. Miami does have a lot of advantages. And one more advantage. Nobody has seen everything that McDaniel can do.
Yeah.
Nobody has any tendencies on him yet because you can't develop that until you have, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 games in. Then maybe you can start to develop some tendencies. But that's the other advantage he still has on some of these coaches early on in the season because they still don't know what kind of a head coach he is and what things he likes to rely on or what kind of chances he'll take or those kind of things. You still don't know. So that's another advantage that they have going into this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot, I think, working in Miami's favor, and I think a lot of challenges right now for the Bills. Again, this is a game that is falling kind of at a inopportune time, I would say, on the schedule for the Bills.
Follow him on Twitter at Jay Skursky. You can catch his work there at the Buffalo News. And who knows, he might be writing about a Dolphin win there on Sunday. Jay, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Hope you and the family are doing well. We'll catch up again, my friend. Thank you.
You got it. Yep, thanks for having me.
You got it. There you go. Jay Skursky, baby, from the Buffalo News. How about that? I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. I expected him to pick the Bills. He picked the Dolphins. All right. All right. All right. You know, it's also all right, Babbel. Babbel's just absolutely awesome. If you're trying to learn a second language, like you tried in high school and college and it didn't work out, trust me, I'm one of those people. Now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an addictively fun and easy way to learn a new language, folks. Whether you're traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with family, or you just have some free time, or how about this? You want to learn a little Spanish to get to know the Las Chicas here in South Florida. Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you can actually use in the real world. Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it a perfect way to learn a new language on the go. And other language learning apps use AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah, that's not good, man. Babbel's lessons were created by over 100 language experts, and then you hear it in the natural language. That's what I love about it, folks. And listen, their teaching methods have been scientifically proven to be effective. You can choose from 14 different languages, including a little Espanol, French, Italian, German. Babbel's speech recognition technology is what we talked about. It helps you to improve your pronunciation and your accent. And there's so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to the lessons, you can access the podcast, the games, the videos, the stories, and even the live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Call right now, baby. Save up to 60% off your subscription. Or not call, but go to Babbel.com/Big O. That's Babbel.com/Big O for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. It's a beautiful thing. All right. What do we have here? What am I? Oh, super chat. Carlos Alvarez, thank you. He says, off topic, but is it fair to say Bruce Sherman is a worse ownership than Loria? I thought it was impossible, but I think I was wrong. No, because Loria got the franchise and they loaned him money for it. He didn't even have the money for it, and he walked away with $1 billion. This dude had to pay $1.1 billion for a team that's not even worth $1 billion. So he's just a bad businessman, is what he is. But nobody is worse and more evil than Jeffrey Loria. So I still have to give it to Jeffrey Loria because he's just an evil SOB. All right, so we've got another one. Matthew Rankin says, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, glad we all proved correct this week. Great interview, Big O. Steve Young and Kurt Warner getting hyped has me more Steve Young and Kurt Warner getting hyped has me more hyped. Well, we're all hyped, Matthew. It's been a nice little run here, and hopefully they will continue. We're caught up. Okay. Thank you all for sending in. Remember, you can also make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. You can also send Bitcoin there on Cash App. Some have donated a little Bitcoin. I got no problem. Cash or Bitcoin, not an issue. Either way, the show grows. Big O, if the Dolphins beat the Bills, are the Dolphins Super Bowl contenders? No, we're not going there yet. It's just if you beat the Bills, It's a hell of an accomplishment. You're 3-0, and that's it. We can't get ahead of ourselves right now. We got to watch a whole season to really be convinced that they're Super Bowl contenders. Remember, Buffalo is injured. They played on Monday night. They have a short week. They're traveling. Mike McDaniel has the edge a little bit because you still don't know what McDaniel is as a coach. So there's no book on him yet. So you have that advantage also. Yeah, no. Can't you can't go that far that fast. We got to wait. We got to wait a few more weeks and, let's talk in week 10, 12, 14 and then we'll get a much better feel for, if the Dolphins are even a playoff contender, much less a Super Bowl contender. Oh, I saw this yesterday. Since retirement, Sage Rosenfeld says, I've been lucky to avoid stealing millions of dollars from the poorest people in my state. He's such a good dude, Sage Rosenfeld's. He is. Really good dude. Point spread should be moving like crazy when it's all said and done. I got 6.5 yesterday. Derek Detox says, Babbel is legit. I use it all the time when I take a poop. Hey, man, listen, that's a great time to learn some lessons while you're pooping. There you go. At least you're doing something productive while you're pooping. It's very important. All right, let's do it. Do we have Alan Poupart ready to go? All right, then let's do it, baby. Let's get into our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All right. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
I'm okay. Battling a little something. Not exactly sure, but no biggie. We'll get through it.
Were you who was the one that's been sidelined for almost 2 weeks? Who's the one with sickness? Oh, you've been hanging around with Channing Tindall?
Oh yeah. A little bit, yeah. My buddy Channing.
How concerned are you with some of the injuries or any injuries?
Well, the fact that X was back on the field today, albeit on a limited basis, certainly is good news. And then Sam Madison said earlier today that he's fully expecting him to play. So that's good. Teron Armstead's going to remain a mystery, I guess, every week, because while he doesn't need the practice because of his credentials and all that, you look at the injury report, it doesn't have any designation whatsoever of injury related. Of vet rest. It's strictly toe.
Right.
Both days, both yesterday and today.
Yeah, but it's probably really precautionary, and they're just whatever. Just put toe.
Yeah, no, but correct. But it also the possibility exists that he played on an injured toe last week, and
right.
It's not like Mike McDaniel is going to volunteer that. By the way, he aggravated the injury and all that. So obviously, there's reason to remain optimistic that he's going to play Sunday, but. There is still a degree, however small, of uncertainty there. Outside of that, the two tight ends are not practicing, but then again, they can go into a second consecutive game with just the three tight ends, Gesicki, Smythe, and Tanner Connor. So, and the flip side of that is Buffalo's got quite the list of injuries too.
Yes,
and you noticed today, no Micah Hyde, no Jordan Poyer, and no Dane Jackson. That's three starting cornerbacks. I mean.
We just talked to Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News right before you, and he was talking about all the. In fact, he picked Miami to win.
I can see that.
Yeah, he picked Miami to win. He said because of all the injuries, short week, getting him by surprise with all this, that he's actually picking. He's been impressed. In fact, with Miami, looks like he wasn't a Tua guy, but now he's kind of getting. He's. Like a lot of people, they're trying to get convinced about him or whatever and all that, because obviously the jury's still out on him and all that. But he actually picked Miami, which That's very interesting. I took Miami yesterday plus 6.5. So I said,
I like that.
I went down to 6, but I was like, you know what, man? Because really, Alan, if you want to be what you want to be as a team, right? And as McDaniel said, you want to be good team. Well, you got to go beat the good teams, right? Well, on Sunday, you have to have a hell of a performance. You don't even have to win, but you have to. It can't be 35-10. It can't be what's gone on the last few years, because then you're going to go, oh, aberration 2-0. Yeah, aberration. You beat the Raven. Aberration. You beat the Pats. And the Pats are terrible. You'll make the Pats look even worse with that. You know what I mean? So, in order to make Dolphin fans feel well, or convince the periphery out there that if the Dolphins are for real, you either have to beat the Bills or you have to play a close game, lose by a score or something. But there can't be another route this week, right?
Well, it's not because the Dolphins want to be that there won't be a route. I just think it's a different Dolphin team. And again, for Buffalo against the Rams and against Tennessee, it was kind of like a both perfect storm type of games. I mean, Buffalo's really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, are they 72-17 better than the Rams and Tennessee combined? I mean, that's there, like I said, and the fact that they're so damn banged up, that's going to make a difference. And
especially where they're banged up, because that's Miami's strength.
No, correct. And the Dolphin defense, I wrote a story about this, I think it was yesterday. They held the Bills offense in check pretty much the first half of both games last year.
Exactly.
And the offense just
right.
thing. And that's not going to happen this year, because even though the Buffalo pass rush is going to be a problem, Tua's going to get some pressure at times, like he didn't get against Baltimore. And he might get sacked 3 or 4 times. That's fine. But to me, Mike McDaniel's genius and his creativity is good enough. It's impressed me enough to the point where I'm confident that he'll come up with some stuff, maybe more quick hitting stuff.
Exactly.
To counteract that. You could see more screen passes, for example, which is a way to slow down a rush.
That's exactly what I just told Jay Skursky, that I expect quick decisions and the running backs to be factors coming out of the backfield, because of that pressure, I can see Mostert and Chase popping out to the flats and Tua just dumping it off to them and just, let them do what they do all the time. And I would imagine some bubble screens and maybe put Tyreek and Waddle in motion at times to create even more confusion, more advantages, because of course you're going to have a whole bunch of backups out there at safety and at corners.
Correct. And I did the research, like the numbers again, the game against Baltimore Dolphins at 218 yards after catch. I mean, that's a good number. And I would expect they're going to have a pretty high number again against Buffalo. And again, as you mentioned, on the road, short week after a Monday night. Yeah. No, I like I told you before, I think I told you Monday that my bold prediction before the season, before I had seen the Dolphins play, was that they would end the losing streak in week 3 here. And there's nothing I've seen to change my mind, really. And that's including as good as Buffalo's been the first 2 weeks.
Something I talked about, and like your thoughts on this. Not only has Miami exercised the demon in the Baltimore Ravens, because obviously, just like the team they're playing on Sunday, the Ravens have owned them. And they went and beat them last year at home, and then they beat them this year on the road. But to me, what stood out in this game, you saw Duvernay get the Malachi crunch. Lamar Jackson not practicing on Wednesday with the elbow injury. He didn't even throw a pass. You saw Alec Ingold just level and hit people all over the place. I saw Robert Hunt get a dude and just like squash him. It wasn't a pancake. It was worse than a pancake. It was a pancake that flopped over several times. What I saw was Miami not only won, but Miami gave the Ravens a taste of their own medicine. They didn't beat them just with finesse. They also punched them in the mouth, which is not something we're used to, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Agree or disagree on that?
Well, I mean, they won on offense because of of the big plays and the speed and the passing and all that. It wasn't like they pounded them into submission. But so I think that was more an issue. And it wasn't just that the Dolphins that hadn't won at Baltimore. They'd gotten smoked.
Yeah.
If you remember, like 40-0, 38-6.
Yeah.
They hadn't even been competitive, and they'd been blown off the field. And maybe trying to match like power with power where they couldn't hang. Now they can hang, even though that's not their game. That's their game defensively to me. Like they have a very physical defensive line, and Landon Roberts, while not great in coverage and all that, that guy's a thumper in the middle of that.
Amen.
I mean, let's give the guy his credit. He has balled big time the first 2 games.
Oh yeah, no, I like Landon. He just has that weakness that you're talking about, of course. And listen, it's not easy to find that middle linebacker that can thump and then also drop back and run. That shit is very difficult to find, and I'm sure they want to find it. I'm sure they're looking for it. They brought Benardrick McKinney was another guy they brought in last year because he's a thumper. That's kind of what his game is, but he also has the same kind of limitations. It's not an easy thing to find that linebacker. Everybody thinks Derek Brooks grows on trees and shit. That's not normal, man.
No, and McKinney's a weird one to me because he had actually some pass rush ability. I think one year in Houston, and then Dolphins dumped him, and that dude's like disappeared. I don't even know if he's still in the league anymore.
Yeah.
No, so going back to your point. No,
but I saw more physical presence by Miami in this game than I'd seen, I don't know, in years.
Well, that wasn't a very high bar. If we're going to compare it to what they'd shown in previous games at Baltimore, yeah, they got pushed around big time.
Alec Ingold alone put a highlight reel together, just him alone. But I saw some guys on the offensive line, hit some people. I just thought it was nice to see, that they sent messages all over the place. And then when you see Duvernay go out, and then you see now Lamar Jackson's banged up, it's nice to see that Miami also can play a little physical. And you need it, bro, because again, this is the same thing. This is a better monster that you're dealing with. And this is a monster that can just pummel you into submission. And they've done it already several times to the Dolphins. So they've got to respond the same way. And they've got to bring some of the toughness that they showed in the Ravens game. They've got to bring it to this game for sure, man.
And I hate to be the contrarian here, even though I guess that's what I do. But to me, it's going to be more about execution, both on offense and defense, more so than physicality. I think if they start going nuts with the X's and O's and mess with Leslie Frazier's scheme on defense, that's where they'll win the game. And on defense, confuse Josh Allen and frustrate him like you did first half, especially the first half last year in Buffalo. If you remember, it's 3-3 at the half, and they were making him look bad. So that to me is going to be the key, because I don't necessarily – obviously it helps if you out physical the Bills. That without a doubt is going to help, and there are certain plays where it's going to make a difference. But ultimately, to me, it's going to come down more to X's and O's and executing those.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Now that you've gone into the locker room a lot, and then you're watching, because when I go in the locker rooms on Wednesdays, I see Tua, and I see him either talking with different players or watch them play ping pong with Tyreek or whatever it is. Then you watch the MVP stuff and getting slimed and all of that stuff. Is that perception kind of gone already about that he's not, getting along with his teammates or hanging out with his teammates or socializing with his teammates or all of that kind of stuff? Do you think that that's kind of a narrative that's kind of gone already at this point by now? Do people look at Tua differently in that sense? Forget about the play. I'm talking about the personality.
No, I kind of get the feeling it's not even an issue anymore. And again, even to start with, was it really? He's not, unless he's Bo Callahan, who's like throws a birthday party and nobody goes. Get the reference? Come on. And unless we're talking about that, who gives a crap? Seriously. But no, that narrative shouldn't. I'm not sure it should have been out there in the first place. And if it was, it's certainly gone. And it was, yeah. How shocking that it was Christian Wilkins who slimed Tua for the Nickelodeon thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. But I got to say something. I talked about this. I don't want Christian Wilkins anywhere near celebrations. Nothing. He almost killed Kader Kohu a couple days ago.
He did?
Yeah, bro. He does some things that he did. He did a couple celebrations in the last week and a half that he put some people in danger. He's got to tone down. He had this arm pump that he crashed with one player, and I swear to God, the guy was half his size, and he did it and I'm like, yo, you're gonna tear that guy's arm out of his socket.
Rotator cuff.
What's wrong with you? And so I was worried that he was gonna blind Tua with the slime. Seriously.
Two on the injury report.
I swear to you, I'm gonna track down Christian Wilkins when I see him. If I see him next Wednesday, I'll say, Christian, brother, we got to do something. We got to put some bubble wrap on your ass when it comes to celebrations, because you are a dangerous cat out there, bro.
By the way, that dude is low-key balling too.
Oh, he's awesome.
Damn.
He's awesome. God, he's playing well. He played well last year. I mean,
but last year he had the numbers more so than this year. This year he doesn't have numbers, but he is
disrupting
inside. I mean, big time.
Yeah. He's disrupting. I see it. And it's good because, everybody was on his ass like, oh, well, he's not justifying his draft pick. And he's more than justified his draft pick now the last couple of years. Now, I think you're seeing he's turning into a hell of a player, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's one of those where you have to don't get blinded by the numbers. Because that's not what he's asked to do. He's not Aaron Donald. He's not going to get 12 sacks, something like that. But between him and Sealer. Damn, that guy's good. And Raekwon's picked up his game from last year.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. No, they don't have a lot of bodies on the defensive lines. They only have 5 listed as defensive linemen, but those guys are solid.
That's a strange position in the NFL, because a lot of times it takes young guys a while to figure it out. And yeah, there's those few that will make the quick transition. They're monsters and whatever, but there's a lot of, it's like offensive linemen. There's a lot of offensive linemen that it takes them 2, 3, 4 years to kind of figure it out. Sometimes it takes them to get cut and go to their second team. And Billy, the guy we had here, Billy Turner, bro, what's he got? Like a 10-year career now already going on? Yep. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens with linemen. Paul Soliai was useless the first couple of years. Poor kid was, his head was spinning, trying to figure out. Hell, I remember when he first started, he had this weird stance where he would stand sideways. Do you remember that with Paul Soliai? And then they finally fixed it, and they had him standing straight up, like I think year 3 or something like that. But it all technique and everything changed for him, and then the game elevated for him, and he became a monster. But
he also had a heart-to-heart. I think Sperano had a heart-to-heart with him, saying, "Get your shit in gear, or your career's not going to last." And then he became a hell of a player.
Yeah. It's a strange position. There's a lot of guys at that position that it kind of takes them a little bit to kind of, look, Zach Sealer, I guess he wasn't impressive in his first stop, right? And then he was available to steal from, where'd they steal him from? From the Ravens?
Yep.
Right. So you steal him from the Ravens, and there you go. You got yourself a hell of a gem in all of that. It's a really strange position. Would you agree?
Yep. No question. And like I said, the Dolphins are very good at that position.
Yes.
In terms of run stuffing, defensive linemen. I mean, they had the one nasty breakdown on the Lamar long run, but also you take that run away, and the run defense was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, Bills are favored by 6. What's the prediction for you for this game? What are you doing? What are you picking?
Well, the final prediction, you remember always Saturdays of the official.
I know.
The unofficial prediction at this time, I think I've told you I'm very strongly leaning Dolphins, actually, for all the reasons that we mentioned. And yeah, I think getting 6 points, not that I'm advocating gambling here or promoting it, whatever, but certainly seems to be the way to go. And I think, and here's the other point I would make about the game.
By the way, folks, Bet US, you can get up to 200% in bonuses. Use our code Big O. We'll tell you. Go ahead, gamble. Let's go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to make a point. This is a game where the potential rewards for the Dolphins are so insanely higher than the potential consequences if they lose. I mean, the only way this goes bad for the Dolphins after this is if they get smoked, and I don't see it. If they hang with the Bills and they wind up losing, you'll get another shot at them. You still have to feel good about yourself at 2-1, and if they win and they go 3-0,
and if you beat the Bengals, you're 3-1, and you're fantastic, bro. You know what I mean? If you play a good game against the Bills and lose, but then you go and beat the Bengals the following week, and you're 3-1, and you played a good game against the Bills, you should feel really good if you're a Dolphins fan.
No, can I tell you something that you think might be weird? I actually might have a better feeling about the Dolphins winning Sunday than I do at Cincinnati on Thursday.
I get it. Short week. Cincinnati has sucked. They got to get off the schneid. I get all that. There's a lot on the line for them because, as you know, if they lose this week, then they're like, oh, man, we can't lose anymore because we're not going to make the playoffs. So, yeah, you're right. It becomes bigger and bigger for them to win overall. Yeah. I'm with you there on that one. But there's no doubt that there's a lot riding for the Dolphins here. And confidence-wise, too, for that team. Because there's several guys there that have had success against the Bills. You start having success against the Ravens and the Bills on back-to-back weeks, two teams that have owned you, that's going to go far for this team, dude.
But even if they just hang with the Bills, I think that would do good for their confidence. The only thing they can't get blown out. That's the only thing.
Yeah. No,
and I don't see it happening, but that's the one scenario where that would be problematic.
All right, before I let you go, they don't need them, either one, okay? But do you kind of feel that they're going to surprise us at one point this season and say, Eric Ezukama is active, and they're going to use him for, they're probably going to give him a set of plays, or Tanner Connor is active, and they're going to use him for a certain set of plays? I almost feel like, because you don't keep young guys like this when you're 53 and put the time into them if you're not going to do something with them. I don't see them sitting on the bench the entire time. I think at some point, not right away, but some point in the next 6 to 10 weeks, I think we're going to see those cats be instituted at one point or another in some kind of game plan that he draws up or thinks of.
And I think of those two, I was way more inclined to think it's going to be Tanner Connor before.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, and because remember
you're deep in the other one, and this guy adds a dimension that you don't have, the speed. I got you.
Well, not only that, but you had to keep Ezukama on the 53 because right now they're basically telling you that they like River Craycraft more than they like Ezukama. They had to keep Ezukama. He was a rookie 4th round pick. They weren't going to cut him. They didn't have.
By the way, is that not genius roster management? Because technically, you're playing with a 53-man roster. Because you know that nobody's taking Craycraft off your practice squad unless San Francisco has a whole bunch of injuries. Oh, he knows their system. Let's bring him over. But if not, nobody's really going to steal Craycraft from you. But Ezukama, he showed so much that they'll steal him from you. So you keep him on your 53. Oh, so you're playing with a 54-man roster. I'm sorry. And then you put this kid on the practice squad, and now you can activate him at any time. So you're kind of playing with an extra roster spot anyway.
Well, but Big O, remember, it's a 3-game limit for elevation. So Craycraft's got one more game, and then they'll have to sign him to 53, or they can't use him anymore.
Okay.
But so going back to my point, and the reason,
by the way, thank you.
The reason they kept Tanner Connor is they were like really impressed, and I was told this like halfway through camp that they loved the Tanner Connor. And watching practice, you can easily see why. So I would think at some point, they're gonna design some place for him.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there. I had a conversation with him. We put it there on the platform, and he views himself a lot like a Kittle in a way that he wants to run you over after he catches the ball. So it's one of those. I think that's kind of what they want to see if they develop. But you can tell that. While he's got the speed and all of that, you still have to develop that body because he still doesn't have the strength. I was standing next to him yesterday, and I was like, okay, you got the height, you got the frame, but you've got to fill that frame out in order to really play like Kittle or try to be something that even resembles that at this level. You're going to have to build that body up. You know?
No, correct. Give him time though. I think he's got the look of one of those like high achiever type of guys, you know. So
Yeah,
I think he's got a nice future.
AllDolphins.com. You must subscribe. You are not really a real Dolphins fan unless you subscribe to AllDolphins.com from Sports Illustrated. Alan Poupar drives that page. What are you working on in that page, sir?
87 stories every day.
That's right.
I actually just posted one about X looking back at a rough day and how that can't happen again.
Now it's a growing injury. Now we kind of know what happened.
It depends when he got hurt. It depends when he got hurt.
Well, dude, when I saw him giving Duvernay all that space, I was like, okay, I get you got to respect the speed, but that's like too much space. So you can tell right away the way he was playing. It's like, yo, dude, that's not him.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. On the 75-yard touchdown, is if you notice, Baltimore went in motion and he kind of got set a little bit late, and he didn't look to me like he was completely necessarily ready at the snap. And then Bateman quickly got inside of him, and then he didn't have the angle. But when he chased him down the field, I mean, wasn't like he wasn't getting lapped by Bateman. And
right.
X is not necessarily a burner per se, so X wasn't going to catch him, but he was running with him. So I don't know that if the groin injury happened during the game, I don't think it was at that point. It would be later on.
Yep. Andy says, keep Craycraft on the 53 and Iggy packing. I think they're going to give the entire year. I think Iggy's here until training camp next year. That's what he's playing for. I think it's a whole year of Sam and Pat working with him and see if they can reach him and develop him. And then into next year, that's when he's going to have to show some serious shine, because they no longer take cap hits anymore. So they'll be able to cut him with no problem. So really, Iggy has a free ride until next offseason.
Completely agreed. And it'll be interesting to see if he gets any kind of shot at some point during the season in the secondary, because so far it's inactive and then special teams only against Baltimore. So.
Yeah, and the way Kohu's playing.
Correct.
By the way, you better, it's what I said 2 weeks ago when he came out for the first time. Keep him on the outside and leave Needham inside. Do not put Needham outside anymore. I love Needham as a slot. Don't like him as an outside guy. That's just me. Kohu has way more athleticism to play the boundary.
No, and I'll tell you, I'll be very curious to see what the Dolphins do if Gabriel Davis ends up playing Sunday, how they're going to match up outside. Obviously, X will be on one side, but then if they go Needham, that's two pretty studly wide receivers you have to deal with right there. So
hell yeah. No, I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And again, AllDolphins.com, Sports Illustrated. Make sure you subscribe there or put it on your bookmarks, AllDolphins.com. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Monday.
Sounds like a plan. Have a great weekend.
You too, my friend. There you go. Alan Poupart, Sports Illustrated, and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And I've been telling you about EJD Construction for about 5 years now. 305-433-4843. Fully insured, liability, workers' comp. Do not hire anybody that is not fully insured. I tell you this all the time. I tell you with Cutter's Edge. I tell you with the EJD Construction. Why? Because if you allow people to work in your home and they're not insured, they can sue you if they get injured. You don't want that. Call them 305-433-4843. Everything is just on deck there. If you're looking to create a second floor for your home, you need to redo the entire house. You need to build a new room or two. You got to build a family room, a fun room, a Florida room, whatever it is. They can help you out, expand it, reconstruct, remodel that entire home. The backyard, one of our listeners did a whole tiki hut. It's kind of like a tiki. It's not really a tiki. It's a little different, the roof, but it also has a full kitchen, barbecue, grease trap, and everything. It was really cool. I saw the pictures, by the way. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Save that number. Maybe you don't need it now. Maybe you need it 6 months from now. a year from now. But make sure you have it. EJD Construction. Call Eric. This is the owner. That's his cell phone. 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Let's see. Alan, most of the time, is conservative in his calls, but today he has given the Finns some cushion due to the short week and the Bills' injuries, I hope. Yep. They do have a little bit of an advantage, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? That there is some kind of an advantage overall for the Dolphins with some of the things going into this game. Doesn't mean they're the better team. The better team is still the Bills. But on Sunday, Miami can be better. There's no doubt about it. I'm not, normally I feel like they have almost no shot to win this game at all. Normally it's like I'm afraid of how bad it's going to be. But, God, I just don't feel that way. When I laid the bet yesterday and I got to 6.5, get it, dude. I'm happy with it. I'm good. They got a shot. They got a serious shot. And here's I don't know if it's exciting for us. Well, it's exciting to a certain extent for everybody, but for some people, it might not be. And those some people, not bellious some, but some people, I don't know how many people caught that one. Anyway, if you're Inter Miami, you're not going to be happy about this. Because if you are battling for a playoff spot and you have one, well, the Dolphins being really good, that's bad news for you. The Miami Heat, who own this town, okay? They own this town. With all the success they've had, they've been the marquee franchise in this town for 25 years, and there is zero discussion about that. We're not even talking about it, okay? By miles. They are the creme de la creme. But even Heat ball takes a backseat to the Dolphins if the Dolphins are good. So if the Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, the mania for the Dolphins is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the way, remember, you 15-year-olds, you 20-year-olds, 25, 30, 35, 40, you have no idea what it's like in this town when the Dolphins are great. None. Panthers, man, they just had their media day, and they're not getting any shade whatsoever. They're not getting any love. They're getting shade. Why? Because the Dolphins are playing well. It's going to be great for the fan base. One, the Dolphin fan base deserves this and so much more. Our Dolphin fan base deserves a lot. But I'm telling you, if they do go out there and start becoming a good team, that's bad news for all the other teams out there. Heat basketball will not matter till late January or February. Because that's how it's been a few times when they've had a decent team over the last 25 years. There's been enough buzz that'll carry you, and then now I'll start following basketball. Where we at least follow basketball all throughout. Summer league, regular season, playoffs, whatever. It's always on our radar because they're the ones that win. They're the ones that are a great franchise year in and year out. But the Dolphins have the power that no team has in this town. None. And if they are great, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe not for some of the pro teams locally because they're going to feel a little bit of the cold shoulder. I mean, yesterday you have your media day, but most of the media is at Dolphins camp. I mean, it was packed yesterday. We were there. What would you say, about 25 media members? About? Yeah, right? About 25?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was packed.
You think they had 25 at the Marlins?
No.
Do you think they had 25 at the Marlins, Inter, and the Panthers combined?
No.
Exactly. I mean, Jordan McPherson can only be at one event. I hate to say it. And I saw it. He was at hockey.
I mean, when you have, the four-letter network down here, they're sending people now down to Dolphins camp. That tells you something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. Well, Darlington was there yesterday.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Darlington, and there was one more, right? There was another national person there. It was a writer.
I think there was another writer from the network.
Yeah, yeah. So they had national people.
So we're getting, more attention and more eyes on. I mean, so and that's only going to increase.
The talk shows are loaded now. The talk shows are.
I'm watching TV right now, and it was they were talking Tua again.
Right.
Looks like it's I think that's the network. I think it's it is an NFL network getting ready for tonight's game. Again, more Tua coverage.
Right. And it's fun. It's fun to see that. And listen, we've talked about this many times. I want young fans to have a lot of fun and success. They deserve it, man. They need it. And the entire Dolphin fan base, us older fans, we'd like to enjoy some really good times again, man. We have not enjoyed good times in a long time. And when we say good times, we're talking about like every year you're a good team. Every year you've got a shot at the playoffs. And then once in a while you got a shot to be a contender for the Super Bowl. That's what we're used to. I'd like to get back to that. And it'd be so cool to see Mike McDaniel bring that back. But yeah, the success of the Dolphins will come at a cost for the other teams. And if you want to get the attention, you're going to have to be exceptional. So the Panthers and the Heat are going to have to be exceptional to take away attention from football. Although I will say this, while I'm looking forward to the Heat season in a big-time way, because I think I'm intrigued by, can Oladipo really turn into the guy? Because now that you have given him the green light to become that guy now. So I'm intrigued by that. And then Panthers, Kachuk. Oh my God. I cannot wait to watch that guy. But I'm a hardcore sports fan. And I love all our local teams. And just like the Dolphins, I desperately want the Panthers to win. Desperately. That's such a great ownership group. Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu, God bless those guys. They do so much. They spend their money. They're trying. They deserve it. But nobody deserves success more than Dolphin fans. They have suffered like so much for 25 years now that they deserve a really, really good team. But if it becomes a good team, you guys are going to see what craziness is. Because this town is going to lose it. Absolutely lose it if the Dolphins are great. You're going to see the kind of buzz and the kind of emotion behind it that you've never seen. And I think it'll be even bigger than it's ever been. Only because of social media and everything else that goes on. People are much more connected now than they used to be. You would have to wait for the paper the next day to get the news. You get the news right away. Right there on your phone, it comes up. It's a different world, man. Different world.
I mean, especially now, too. You don't have to just be in South Florida to get the buzz.
Right.
Like you're saying with social media, now you feel it everywhere.
Everywhere.
And
everywhere.
They can also send that buzz from where they're at here as well through social media.
Exactly. I mean, this morning we have people listening from all over the world, and that's because they're South Florida fans. That's why what do we always say on this platform? To South Florida fans all over the world. Because I know that this program is not just about the people in South Florida. It's about South Florida fans all over the world. Because we're spread out all over the world. We're not only here. Some of you had to move. Some of you are living with family members, loved ones, job, whatever. You had to move, leave. Doesn't mean you don't love your Heat and your Dolphins, your Canes, your Marlins, your Panthers, your Inter, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what we are. We're the conduit to keeping you connected to your local teams. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So Dolphin football will dwarf a lot of things if it explodes. Dolphins should have the advantage again of playing in hot weather this weekend like they did against the Patriots. Very true, my friend. Coco Mata says, being a Finns fan in New England, I pray every year that the Finns will be good. Well, I think you're going to get your prayers answered finally, my man. Fuhencio says, Orlando, to be honest, you guys were the only ones supporting Tua since the beginning. Kudos to you and Sean for staying consistent with your thoughts. Thank you, my friend. We just use common sense, bro. We just looked around and said, no coaching, no talent. Not the kid's fault, man. It's not his fault. And he's proving us right that it's not his fault. It's just the crap that that Flo put him through, you know. Big O, would be cool to see the Dolphins and the Canes win another championship in the same year. That would be phenomenal. That would be incredible if that ever happened. It would be the first, but it would be nice. What?
It's not going to be this year.
No, it's not going to be this year. No. Definitely not. When you talk about QBs with Tua's elite traits, isn't Brady that style of QB as well? Yes. So is Peyton Manning. But they're taller. So they have an advantage over Montana and over Breeze and over Greasy and over Tua and over Tarkenton because they had a little bit of – so that's another elite trait for them that they're tall. You know, but yeah, they're the exact same quarterbacks in that sense. Because Peyton Manning didn't have a gun either. People don't know that. They'll never say it. Peyton Manning wasn't throwing 80-yard bombs either. Yet, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Joe Montana wasn't throwing the ball 80 yards downfield. Yet, he might be the second greatest quarterback ever, right? Because I guess Brady beat him because Montana was the standard. You know, the short guy that isn't really – go look at Montana and go look at Marino. Back in those days, go look at his body and go look at Marino. Go look at his body and then go look at John Elway. Go look at his body and then go look at Warren Moon. It's you know, yeah, you're so right. There's a lot of these quarterbacks that are a little taller than Tua. I just use all the short guys, all the guys that are in that 5'10" to 6'1" range. And I should throw Kyler Murray in there. The thing is that Kyler has these incredible wheels, you know, that really frees him up that none of these other guys have. And that is just and I love Kyler Murray. You know why? He's a runner by necessity, not a runner that he needs it to be a quarterback. He only runs when he has to run. If not, he's trying to buy time to make a pass. That's what I love about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a real quarterback with athleticism, just like Russell Wilson is a real quarterback with athleticism, whereas Lamar Jackson and Ryan Tannehill are athletes trying to play the quarterback position. Yes, sir.
Social media ruined Kyler Murray for me.
Why? What happened?
Because they put the play where he was running for his life on was it the touchdown or the 2-point conversion?
Oh, the 2-point conversion. Yeah.
And they're like, now picture this as a kid running from their parents when they steal their phone. And now I cannot unsee it after watching it now. Every time I watch it now, that's what I see.
That's awesome. Big O, I can understand the Tua haters. I felt the same way about a guy who defied all physical parameters of a franchise QB, but nobody could stop him. Joe Montana. Yeah. Not physically imposing, not this big arm, and yet an absolute badass, an assassin. That's what Joe Montana was. Joe Montana was an assassin, bro. He cut your heart out and then smile. while he's cutting your heart out in Skechers. What's your thought on why there's so much hate for Tua? You probably have not caught my my good guy explanation. You may want to, I don't know when that was, 2 weeks ago or whatever. But basically, and just to paraphrase it, why do they hate Tebow? Why do they hate Russell Wilson? Why do they hate Tua? Our society is not good with people that are fantastic and the human beings that know how to handle themselves the right way in everything. We gravitate more to the people that have the same defects we do. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Everybody makes fun of Russell Wilson for what? For being a great man? For being a great father? For being a great husband? For being a great quarterback? I'm sorry. Oh, it was corny. His video for the Broncos. Oh, did you see what he was wearing to the game? Russell Wilson. This, that. It's the weirdest thing with Russell Wilson. The guy is impeccable as a human being, been a great quarterback, a Hall of Famer. The hell are you picking on? Tim Tebow, not a great quarterback at the NFL level, but man, did people want him to fail in a bad way. And why? Because he's just a phenomenal person. We have a problem with phenomenal people. We think they're fake and phony and awkward, and it's crazy, dude. And we do this all the time to people like that. So that's my theory on Tua. I mean, think about it, bro. You got people wanting Deshaun Watson over Tua. You want an alleged rapist over Tua. Wow. A guy that can play the game at a high level, never get in trouble for you, represent your company in an impeccable fashion, and you want to handle the baggage of Watson and give him a guaranteed contract? A guy that may have raped women? It's a weird world, man. It just is. You got people with free Ray Rice jerseys and shirts. It's strange. It's just strange. I can't explain it. But it happens all the time. This crazy love of mine. Let's see. Jamie Zorilla says, oh my God, Peyton Manning didn't have a gun. Coño, Orlando, you ruined my ignorance. LOL. Perfect cue. It shows the Dolphins at 16 as far as what the value of the franchise is compared to other teams. Imagine if we get things back on track. Yep. But it don't matter. It's not your money. You're not going to enjoy the value. You're just paying for it. Money Mitch says, so why does Murray lose most games second half of the season if he doesn't rely on the run? He gets banged up during the season, then he goes ghost. Happened 2 years in a row. Yeah, he's still a young quarterback. He's still learning how to be consistent. You guys make it sound like it's really easy to become a quarterback. And it takes and remember, he's a shorter quarterback too. So there's another adjustment that he's making at this level. He's done a really good job overall. But you have to be patient with the kid. You know, Rich Gannon didn't find his mojo till, can you look it up what year he got to Oakland? He bounced around from Kansas City and Minnesota, and I don't know if there was another team before he got to Oakland. You tell me there. But I want to say he was in the league maybe 8 or 9 years. Bounced around. Everybody knew he had a gun. Everybody knew that Rich Gannon could run around too. He was a pretty good athlete. We all knew it. We all saw it. They used to call him Rich Cannon Gannon. But he was inconsistent. And then he gets to Oakland and he becomes an MVP. Environment, the right team, the right players, the right scheme. Boom. He takes off. Yes, sir. What year? What are you laughing at? What?
All right. He was on the Vikings from 87 to 92.
Right.
The Redskins or Washington, 93.
Right.
The Chiefs, 95 through 98.
Right.
And then you got the Oakland in 99 to 2004. The reason I laughed, career highlights and awards. NFL Most Valuable Player, 2002. Two-time first-team All-Pro, 2000, 2002. Four-time Pro Bowler, 1999 through 2002. NFL Passing Leader, 2002. Two-time Burt Bell Award, 2000 and 2002.
Yeah, everything with the Raiders.
All awards are with the Raiders. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's just, Stephen Davis didn't find his way as a running back to like year 4 or 5. And then he became a constant Pro Bowler for many years. And before he became a Pro Bowler, do you know what Stephen Davis was known for? Do you know what Stephen Davis was known for before he became a Pro Bowl running back? Getting his jaw broken by Michael Westbrook. You remember that? Remember when the two got in a fight? Michael Westbrook broke somebody's jaw? It was Stephen Davis's jaw he broke. That was Stephen Davis's claim to fame. We live in this world where we think this is easy what they do and that they're going to make an immediate transition. And Billy Hunter doesn't find a way with the Dolphins, but finds a way to hang out for 10 years in the league after the Dolphins dismiss him. So Kyler Murray, he has shown you a lot. I like Kyler Murray. I really do. I have patience for Kyler Murray because he's a quarterback. He's not an athlete playing quarterback. He's a real quarterback. And for me, that's really important. And he's accurate and he's got touch. I like Kyler Murray. And yeah, he's short. I was more worried about his physicalness at this level. I was worried that if he takes hits, he's not going to last long, which his wheels, there's no way you get clean. He has that Warwick Dunn, Barry Sanders quality to him. That Lamar Jackson sometimes has that too. It's hard to get clean shots on these kind of guys. So he has that gift. But I would tell you to be patient with Kyler Murray. He deserves the patience. He has shown enough progress that you've got to keep going with it. And look, they've paid him not because he's arrived. They're still paying him on potential. I get it. That new contract that's going to kick in eventually, I understand that. But so far, for me personally, I think he has shown enough that I would definitely continue riding the Kyler Murray train if I was in Arizona. So for me, I'm not one of those guys that's lost any patience whatsoever with Kyler Murray. 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, ladies and gentlemen, because that is a 24-hour talk show. By the way, Edge Energy Drink is a proud sponsor of our program. You see it there. We love to live on the edge, baby, with a little Edge Energy Drink. 78 calories. What a joke. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. I can't say zero aftertaste enough because all I've ever tasted with sports drinks are that stinking aftertaste. And that's why I never have any kind of sports drink until Edge. Until John goes, here, try this. And oh my God. It is awesome. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. 78 calories. And by the way, you can't get it at a store, but you can get it delivered right to your home. That's right, or office. So go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code BIGO. You'll get 10% off, and you'll get the best energy drink on the planet delivered to your home. Edge Energy Drink. myedgedrink.com. Use the code BIGO. And get 10% off. Damn it. Spilled some of it on me. So good. That honey and lime has saved my ass, man. What do you think Flo was thinking after seeing Tua's performance? Brother, I think Flo was probably looking for a Tua doll so he could start doing some evil shit to it. That's what I think. They don't play the Steelers this year, do they? Oh, they do? Oh, they do Sunday night. God, they're going to beat their ass. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to beat the Steelers' ass and Flo. I don't really have anything against the Steelers, but now that they have Flo, I really dislike them. I got to say. I got to be honest. I'm just I'm a Flo hater. I have legit hate for Flo. The way he treated Tua, the way he tried to screw Chris Greer. And let me tell you something. I got nothing. I got no love for Bill Belichick. But I feel for Bill. That guy helped you. And all you did was screw him. I got no respect for Flo. Zero respect for Flo. So I hope the Dolphins complete all their passes on their linebackers the entire night. Okay? In fact, I hope McDaniel schemes it that linebackers end up covering players all the time. And I hope it comes out after some next-gen stat or some shit that says linebackers have gotten burned in this game more than any other game in NFL history. Oh, and by the way, Brian Flores coaches those linebackers. Tua's former coach. That, my friends, you want to get me excited? You want to get me going? Let's do that.
That game starts a tough stretch on our schedule.
Oh, yeah? Well, what's a tough stretch?
We got the Steelers.
Oh.
Then the Lions.
Oh, my God.
The Bears.
Oh, they're growling.
The Browns.
Oh, they're crapping in their pants.
The Texans.
Oh, God, they have a bad power grid.
49ers.
Oh, that place is a disaster. Homeless people all over the place.
Then it picks up.
Then it picks up where?
Chargers.
Chargers?
Bills.
Those people rent a stadium.
Bills.
Bills? Oh, come on. They'll all be on fire, landing on fruit tables. What else? And what is it? Packers after that? Oh, give me a break. Them and their little bikes going to the damn stadium. The hell is that? What's wrong with the stinking Packers? Go bike riding to the stadium. Now CO, Flores is not a bad guy to dislike. He tried to destroy QB and a whole organization just because he was all in his feelings. Just think, Flo's getting no more interviews. He sued everybody's team. That's ever called in for one. Yeah, that's it. No, he's done. This is his last job. He can enjoy this job. He'll never get a head coaching job. He'll never be trusted again. All right. Oh, that's a good one. Karen says, Tobin said that when Tua scores against the Steelers, he should practice his golf swing in front of Flores. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. 4 touchdowns on your ass. All right, we are out of here. We thank Jay Skursky from the Buffalo News. Great insight into that matchup. So if you want to check it out, if you missed it, you can rewind or you can catch up on the podcast because that man will put it all together. Alan Poupart, we thank him. We thank, of course, the Brunetti family. Thank you as always. We love the Brunetti family, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast here this afternoon. Steve Calabro, and, of course, Frank Fiore and all the great people out here at Hialeah Park. We'll be out here every Thursday now in the afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m. So appreciate all of you out there. We will see you tomorrow morning, live from the KSDT CPA offices in Dadeland. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a good one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.